Trent's future is still up in the air for most people. How do we replace the right back if he does leave Liverpool this summer on a free to Real Madrid? We have a creativity issue if Trent isn't on the pitch and if Salah isn't firing. How do we resolve that before the start of next season? And is Luis Diaz now looking like he might stay at Liverpool Football Club? People, it's the Monday Night Live show. Sit back, relax. Let's get into it.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well. Welcome to the Monday Night Live show. As always, when we get behind the mic, please make sure you subscribe, comment, and like. Liverpool Football Club are 1 win away, aka 3 points away from being crowned Premier League champions for the second time. 20th league title pending after a win against Leicester City yesterday. And after that game, most people weren't talking about the result. Most people were talking about the person who scored the goal, and that's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Came off the bench and secured the winner for Liverpool in the 76th minute, which gave the Reds a 1-0 win over Leicester City, confirming their relegation and all but confirming our 20th league title. Man like Matt. Firstly, we weren't able to do the show together yesterday. When he came off the bench, how did you feel?
It was a weird one because I wouldn't know how I was going to feel until he turned up on the pitch, innit, on the sideline. And when he did, I was just like, all right, cool. Listen, he's still a Liverpool player. We know he's going to go, but he's a Liverpool player, right? He goes on to score the winning goal. But I'm not going to cap. My emotions got the best of me. I celebrated. Do you want to know why I celebrated? Because this wasn't about Trent. This was about Liverpool. Yes, he scored the goal, but that goal now means we're closer to number 20.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I understand everyone's going to have their own feelings and harbor feelings towards Trent. Everyone deals with things differently. Some people in adversity get annoyed. Some people turn the other way and go, you know what? I ain't even dealing with this. Let me just move on. How people want to deal with the situation, that's up to them. I don't think there's a right or wrong situation. That's me being so real. That's not me sitting on the fence. That's just how life is. How you deal with it is how you deal with it. But you see, when we scored that goal, Cal, we got ever closer to number 20, bro.
Facts.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? All I care about is Liverpool winning the title. I haven't got time right now to be thinking about Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation. Obviously, we're going to talk about it. It's a talking point. It will forever be a talking point. But Liverpool Football Club is before any player, bro. We've had legends at this club that have left for different reasons.
Yeah.
The club's still here. Gerrard left. The club's still here. Torres left. The club's still here.
Sorry to do this to you, Matt. Can I just correct you? Gerrard didn't leave. He was forced out by Brendan Rodgers. But we moved on.
Yeah. I hear that. But what I'm trying to say is players leave all the time. Obviously, it's the way how they leave as to why people get annoyed and whatever. And that's up to people. I can't vouch for other people. How you deal with situations, that's on the person. But you see me, when that ball hit the back of the net, bro, I was going mad. I didn't care if it was Trent, bro. I wouldn't even. Because here's the thing: if it was Darwin Núñez, are we gonna get annoyed? No, he looks like he's about to leave. But I don't care, bro. You want to know why? Because Liverpool Football Club comes before any single person in that club, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Facts.
The Trent stuff, we'll speak about that obviously a little bit
when we know.
Yeah, but like, see, right? Listen. When he done the post match as well, yeah, I'll be so real. I know he's gone. You can see it. He's gone.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did that more confirm it for you that he's definitely going?
Yeah, for me, I think, because you know what it is? Okay, so I know he said he'll never speak about it like publicly, yeah. But I do think that was the perfect time to say, listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I love the club. or whatever. He didn't really say nothing. And that's him trying not to say too much, because whatever he does say, people are going to hold on to his every word in it. And that's where the media training kicked in. You could see it in his face. When he got asked the question, he took a little, because I remember there was a bit of a delay when he spoke in it. But I think he's gone, bro, personally. I mean, I could be so sure. Here's the thing, though, Cal. I will never forget when I thought Gerrard was going Chelsea, bro. I will never forget that feeling of thinking like, we're just about to lose the greatest player ever, and he's going to one of our rivals, bro, in the Prem. We're not talking about Real Madrid, Barcelona. We're talking about Chelsea, bro. You see them days there, the Chelsea situation was rife.
Yeah.
Mourinho came in, Benitez is there, them two were proper hating each other. That rivalry was a madness.
Yeah.
And that's where our rivalry kind of stemmed with Chelsea, if we're being honest. It's the Benitez Mourinho era, if we're being real. But
sorry to cut you.
Go.
Big up KG. Welcome back to the Premier League. See you next season, brother.
You know, KG.
Big
KG,
up,
come on.
up.
KG, you got to shout me, because come on, you're back next year. You got to shout me, right?
Big up KG.
Big up
guys,
KG.
go and subscribe to KG's channel as well. Leeds United supporter, back in the Premier League. Can't wait to do content with you again, bro. It's been too long. Congratulations.
Congrats to KG, man. Come on.
Big up KG. Matt.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can speak all day until the cows come home about the Trent situation, and we'll probably never get a resolution, or probably we'll never agree on what is actually happening until we know what's happening, right?
Yeah.
That being said, though, have you managed to watch the game on replay or anything yet?
Yeah. I've seen the full game. Yeah,
full game. Now, I suspect when I ask this question, you're gonna have a smug smile on your face. Conor Bradley didn't have the best of games yesterday. From a defensive
standpoint. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
But from an attacking standpoint, I thought he was pretty good.
Very good.
I said this during the game. How many times have we said that down the years about Trent as well?
Yeah.
The only difference is Bradley's not as good as Trent attacking wise. So would the fan base be as forgiving with Bradley as they have been with Trent? That remains to be seen. Yeah. But based on yesterday, how do you think we should go about replacing Trent should he go?
We can't replace Trent for his qualities, but what we can do is get a more orthodox right back that can defend very well, but still decent going forward. Because there's two things that they both have in common, Trent and Conor Bradley. They're both better going forward. Conor Bradley defensively is only a little bit better than Trent because I think he tries harder. Like, remember, Conor Bradley's just breaking into a Liverpool team. When Trent Alexander-Arnold broke into that Liverpool team, bro, I think it was 16, 17, yeah? Trent was trying. He was getting cooked, but the effort was there.
Yeah.
You would say now the effort wasn't as much last couple of years, but this year, I would say, is at a better year. Conor Bradley, I've kept on saying it for time, bro. He's not some lockdown right back where you can't just get past him like an Nathaniel Klein kind of thing. Conor Bradley's good, but we need better, bro. So in my opinion, we've got to find a right back that we don't look at and go, oh, defensively he's a bit shaky and you can get at him. I need that right back, bro, where we, like, I know people won't like me saying this. I give an example of a profile of defender, a Urian Timber from Arsenal. That profile of defender who, in my opinion, can defend very, very well, but he's decent going forward. Not amazing, he's just decent. He made an overlap, he'll make a pass every now and again. But in a 1v1, not saying you can't cook Timber, but I would say Timber's a lot harder to get past than Conor Bradley and Trent. Big up the shout that you said the other day. Ola Aina. Again, another right back who, again, defensively is on point. We need a right back like that. Because what you can do, Cal, is if you get that defensive right back but is okay going forward, then you can kind of like pick between him and Bradley. Because I don't think Bradley's there yet. Bradley can be that, but Bradley needs experience as well, bro. Bradley needs to improve.
Yeah.
And that winger had him on toast, bro.
Yeah.
So Bradley was struggling.
Sorry to cut you. Shout out to Andre. Andre, I hope we're good now with the Subwazli stuff. Because you have Bradley, you could sign a 28, 29-year-old for 2 years. I think that's the way we should go. Try and sign someone a bit more experienced, just so Bradley has that buffer and someone to learn from. Shout out to Mark A. He doesn't think we sign a right back.
See, remember, I said this. I don't think we're
Do
going
you
to sign
still
one.
believe that?
Do you know, I'm worried that the club are going to not see it as a priority, and I'll tell you why. There's big belief at Liverpool at AXA, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no, there is big belief that Conor Bradley is like the next big thing in it, kind of thing in it. He's the one coming true. He's the one that should be able to cement his place. I'm not saying Bradley can't do that, but Bradley can't be the only one. Do you know what I'm worried about though, bro? They look at it and go, well, we got Conor Bradley, and if there's ever a situation, we got Joe Gomez. It sounds crazy, but don't think the club could never think like that, because we've seen it before. How many times have we lost a player and the club will just act like the player that's already there is now the replacement? That's not what I want to happen, by the way. It's just that I can't. I'm really worried that the club are going to look at it and go, well, we got Joe Gomez. If he has a good preseason, you know what they're going to do, Cal. The PR will start all over again. He'll be the backup right back.
I hear that. All right.
Can you see the club doing that though? Not saying that you want it to happen, but can you see the club doing that?
If Trent goes, I'll be honest, I'd be extremely shocked if we don't sign a right back.
Because you know
whether that right back is better than Bradley or not, that remains to be seen. But I would genuinely be so shocked if we didn't sign a right back.
Bro, I wouldn't be shocked. I've seen my club do stupid things, bro. Because you know what I can see happening? We buy the centre back. Joe Gomez now gets moved to the backup right back, but still an emergency centre back. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You know the club act like that, bro. We've been doing it for years.
No, I hear
what's
that.
What's made you think that we're going to change our approach? This is what I want people to understand.
Because of Joe Gomez injury issues. If Joe Gomez, let's say he was like he had the availability of a Kwanzaa, then I'd be sitting there going, you know what, Matt? Like, yeah, like I get
Pick up Jamrock.
Yeah,
Matt chucked to buy everything. Pick up Jamrock.
Genuinely, if Gomez had Kwanzaa's injury record, then I probably would sit there and be like, yeah, I think that will happen. And you know what? Call me a top red, call me an FSG in guy. If Gomez was all right injury wise, I actually wouldn't be all right. I'd actually be all right with it, because I don't think the right back market is crazy out there, and I don't think Joe Gomez is a crap right back. So if we went into the season with Joe Gomez and Bradley, I'm not saying that would be my first choice, but I could live with that if Joe Gomez didn't have the injury issues.
Oh, if he didn't have the injuries, okay.
Yeah, but because of his injuries,
yeah,
that's someone's Trent told me to log off, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that if I was you. I wouldn't have, even if Gomez wasn't. Do you want to know why though?
You say I would have said that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that. I'll tell you why. You got to remember, Conor Bradley picks up his fair share injuries as well, bro.
No, but I'm saying if Gomez was like, let's say Gomez was fit for 90% of the season.
But bro, if that was the case, we would put Joe Gomez as probably the third choice centre back then.
Yeah.
Wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because remember, Joe Gomez is never about the ability. It's the injuries after injury, availability that's affected him being at the highest level for long enough. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know if this is a burner account for Monts or what.
Probably is.
Monts has been pushing this agenda for a while now.
I know.
A little spoiler alert. I'm going to be on Big Six Bands after Kop-Ish. I've got an MMA show after this, and then after that, I'm on Big Six Bands with Monts. Monts called me before this show, and he said, "Cal, did you see yesterday?" And I was like, "Yeah, we won." And he's like, "Nah. Did you see what Szoboszlai did from the right-hand side with the cross?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I told you he's a right back." Bro, he also had a shot from the left-hand side. He's like, "I don't care about that." He's like, look at the run down the line and the cross. That's a right back. Monts really wants to see Szoboszlai at right back.
Do you know
I'm gonna ask you, Andre, it's not me, bro. I'm asking the question.
Andre is the biggest.
He's the Szoboszlai Defense League.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a wild question here, man, and I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm just going to ask a wild question.
Go on.
Would you like to see Szoboszlai deployed at right back?
No, only if it was an emergency. If we're in an emergency, I've got no problems with it, because you have emergencies during the season. There might be a time, because, for example, an emergency was when we had to play Curtis Jones there. That was an emergency, right?
I was going to say, who would you rather play there, Subbo or Curtis Jones?
Do you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Szoboszlai there in an emergency, because he might do better. I know he's more athletic. Has he got better defensive nous than Curtis Jones? I don't know. It's like maybe, But Szoboszlai from right back. But here's the thing, though.
If we buy a £70 million midfielder and play him at right back, it's a bit of a disaster.
It is.
You would have to become the best right back in the world to justify that.
It's a write-off. And not only that, you got to think about the player. Is the player going to want to be converted to a right back? And I think even though big up Mons, the idea of it is not crazy. It's just that I don't know if I can see Szoboszlai accepting a right back role. Not saying that he's going to do some madness, but like I just feel like if you do that to him, the only way that happens, Cal, is if we go and buy a bad boy 10, where the only way to keep Szoboszlai in the team for his sake is that he has to play right back. Because you kind of have to tell him, like, well, you're not good enough in the 10, so this is why we're paying you right back. But I don't see that happening, bro, personally.
If I'm going to be honest, the character of Szoboszlai seems as though if there's one person who would accept doing that for the sake of the team, it's probably him. He genuinely does seem like that sort of character where he's like, I'm going to put myself second and the team always comes first. As I said, the issue I have with that is why don't we just go and sign a right back rather than not?
Yeah, like why not just, that's what I'm saying. But this comes back to your original question though. Do you see Liverpool buying a right back, or do you see us going with Bradley and Joe Gomez? And if I'm being honest, I really don't know, because I'm more thinking Liverpool are going to think there's other priorities. Like they're going to know that they need a left back. Oh, shout out Tsimikas, by the way.
Had a good game in it,
bro. Tsimikas had a very good game. I think he only had one moment in the game, but Tsimikas I thought he was very, very good, bro.
He ain't playing next week though. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, this is the thing. He should keep his spot for Sunday against Spurs, but that's another conversation. But
that ain't happening.
Let me ask you this.
I'll go for it.
Just quickly, going off topic, just ever so quickly. The left back issue. Are you replacing Robbo or Tsimikas?
If I had my choice, Matt, honestly, I'd buy Kirkes and Hatto in the summer and so.
No, I know, but let's just say you could only say one of them had to go. Who would you choose to go in your opinion?
Shall I tell you why it's hard to say?
Go on.
I know I'm going to get cussed out for sitting on the fence again. Tsimikas did play well yesterday, but it was against Leicester. And Leicester, like, their relegation, their relegation team, literally a relegation.
Like I say, Conor Bradley should be getting cooked by.
No, but that's why I'm worried about right
championship.
Back. That's why I'm worried about right back as well. But shout out to Pimping the Strength.
Remember, I'm not saying this has to happen. I'm just saying if you was in charge and we was bringing a left back, who would you? Me personally,
from a footballing standpoint, I'd sell Robbo. But in terms of personality, experience, what they bring to the squad behind the scenes, I can understand why Robbo might stay.
I think Robbo's affinity with Liverpool, being there longer and him being one of the captains, I think keeps him in over Tsimikas. But if it was my choice personally, I am. Listen, I love Robbo, bro. He's a legend. But you see the crossing from Tsimikas yesterday, bro. How is the choice? Yeah, that's crazy still.
Whoopi's insane.
What I'm saying is,
I cut you guys. Robbo isn't homegrown, guys. By the way, he's not homegrown.
No, he's not. Bro, did you see the crossing from Tsimikas?
Yeah,
bro. Tsimikas crosses are serious compared to Robbo's,
and his set pieces as well.
Bruv,
corner taking's way better.
Yep, I'm telling you. I'm saying Tsimikas, but I don't. It sounds weird. I don't want to see Robbo leave because Robbo is a legend, but I understand it. So when we do bring in, hopefully, a left back, I'm willing to accept either or because we need an upgrade in it.
Hear me out here. Shout out to Mantis because I was going to ask this question one day.
You go,
Cal. You think the captain of Scotland is going to sit on the bench for Kirkes? No chance. Do you think we are targeting someone like Kirkes, a younger profile of a left back, because we're going to use that player as an understudy to Robbo?
No chance. No. That don't make sense.
That wasn't what I asked you, whether it makes sense or not.
No, all right. Why would you spend 40 to 45 mil on a left back?
Because it future-proofs you. Because again, we expect Robbo to leave next summer, right? Not this coming summer, next summer.
What's that old school WWE? No chance. chance. No chance in hell, bro. I would be flabbergasted if we brought in Kirkers and he's the understudy to Robbo. I would actually be like, this club is actually cooked. We're cooked. We just won a league. You're trying to strengthen, and you're still that can't happen, Cal. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna accept it. It just can't.
Big up to Tom Little. And Tom, you can tell Hassan I brought up your chat on the screen without a super chat, by the way. No, Robbo just has to. No, Robbo just has to accept it.
You saw Tom was that
deal as well. Look, I would bring in 2 right backs if I could. Shout out to Dodie, guys. My dad watches you. I've got the whole family watching Kopish. Happy Easter. Big up yourself and big up to the family.
Big up yourself, man. I big up your family. Happy Easter, man.
Yeah, as we were saying, I don't think there's a world where you bring in a left back and they shouldn't be better than Robbo at this point. Yeah. If that's the case, I'll be very disappointed.
So I kind of sidetracked us. What was we talking about before? Because I was
talking about Trent. So here's the thing. Bradley's what, 21, if I'm not mistaken?
I think so. 21, 22, Bradley? Connor? I think.
Yeah. So let's say we sign someone else at the same age as Bradley, but they were perceived at the club to be better. Let's say it was someone like a Vanderson, for example, who played for Monaco. Yeah. Vanderson's got very good stats this season, having a good season.
I don't know much about him.
He's 23 years old.
Okay.
So he's like a year or so older than Bradley. Do you think that potentially makes Bradley look at his situation and go, well, Trent's left. I thought I might be number 1. And now you brought in someone to be number 1. Does that potentially make him go, I might not sign a new contract to stay because I want regular game time? In the same way Nico Williams did with Nottingham Forest.
I think if you're Connor Bradley, though, you got to think to myself, this is a battle that I'm going to win. You can't be defeatist and just think because they're signing someone the same age. It's a battle. If Bradley think he's better than Vanderson or player X, whoever comes in, Bradley needs to have that mentality of, I'm better than them. So
big up K-Mac. Bradley's got 2 years left on his deal.
Well, here's the thing. I think it would all depend how that season will go. If Bradley's able to stave off competition, Bradley will be thinking, well, that's light work for me. I already know I'm the best right back. That's the mentality that you need to have. If you don't have that mentality, that's when things can start looking a little bit shaky and Bradley start thinking about his future. And that's maybe because he's not playing as much as he thought he would. It's about your mentality at Liverpool, bro. Like, I know majority of people hate Trent now, but when Trent first broke into the team, Trent had that mentality of like, I'm going to try and be the weapon X at right back for Liverpool. We could have brought in a right back. I know we kind of never did, to be fair. Trent didn't really have competition, if we're being honest. But that's just because he's a special player and he made it to the point where he was indispensable. Connor Bradley needs to think that same way in a different way. Like, I'm Liverpool's right back. Ain't no one taking this right back spot from me. I don't care if you spend 20, 40, 30 mil on a right back. I'm that right back. This is what I mean. Like, it kind of goes back to the centre-back argument. I know I'm sort of sidetracking here.
No, you're cool.
Let's say we do manage to bring in Huijsen. Obviously I want Konate to stay. I don't want Konate to think, well, if they're buying a centre-back, that means that they don't rate me. I want you to freaking stay and fight for your spot. Sign that contract and you fight Huijsen. Show the manager why you should be ahead of Huijsen. Or show the manager why you should be playing alongside Huijsen, because in 2 years, Virgil van Dijk potentially is going to leave. It's about the mentality, Cal. We can't have weak mentality players. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you've got a weak mentality, you will not survive. It don't matter how much talent you got. Your mentality is your best attribute. No disrespect when I say this, because he's one of the best captains in Liverpool's history, Jordan Henderson. We can all sit and say Jordan Henderson wasn't more talented than Gerrard, Dalglish, flipping Beerman. Bare players, but his mentality is what kept him in the team. His mentality is what drove us forward to win us titles, bro.
I hear it.
You have to have that mindset, bro.
Should Liverpool try and go big and go for someone like a Hakimi or something like that?
Hakimi would be very good. Do you know what I think we're going to go for? And I just don't know whether his profile fits. It's that Frimpong. I know we've been linked to him a lot this season. And
that doesn't.
Bro, Frimpong's more of a right winger than a right back, bro.
The only thing that I think of with this though, are journalists just being a bit lazy and linking Dutch players to Liverpool because we've got a Dutch manager. Because remember, it used to happen all the time with Klopp when he first came in, that he would get linked from German players and we never signed any.
That's
Do you
true.
think that's what's happening here? Where because we've got a Dutch manager, Xavi Simons, Hato, the player Igor Paixão, even though he's Brazilian, but he plays in.
That's
the
a good
Dutch
point,
league.
though. Yeah,
Could it
Dutch
just
league.
be lazy journalism that they're going, you know what? Boom, he plays in Holland or he is Dutch, got a Dutch manager. Let's just run the story. We'll get clicks on it and we'll get paid.
No, you could be right. It can be lazy journalism. Remember, we were supposed to be getting Hanko at one point, even though Hanko did say, I believe he got an offer, but then not got an offer. There was in talks.
Waiting for an offer, wasn't he?
Yeah, but apparently it was the age. I think he got told because of his age, they wanted a different profile. But
brother, remember in the summer we were heavily, again, I'm not trying to take detail, we were heavily linked to Matt's wife before he went to Brighton.
Yeah. No, facts.
Bro,
I didn't know about Max Wifer or Vifer until Slot was the manager. I didn't know who the freaking hell he was, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're right. It can be lazy. Gertrude, like you said, is another one. It can be a bit of that lazy journalism where, they're going to bring players from the previous team, and not only that, if they're Dutch, they're automatically Slot's just going to pick them. So yeah, it's a good shot, bro. Doesn't always work like that still.
Well, another player who's been linked is Reed from, I think he's from Feyenoord as well.
Bruv, no, Gavaria Reed is cold though.
Okay, but he's 18.
I was going to say he's 18.
Do you bring in an 18-year-old to be back up to Bradley? Does that work in your opinion? Or is he a player? This is where Liverpool kind of might have to do the Mamadashvili thing where they go, let's buy him, leave him on loan for a year or two, and then bring him in maybe in a year or two.
I would still try and get Gavaria Reed, but like you said, I'd loan him out. He's someone that I think we should keep an eye on. Maybe not now.
Is he that good? Yeah, because I've not seen anything of him.
So he's athletic, strong in the tackle. He's got a decent delivery as well. He can defend 1v1s. Like, he's good. Obviously still young and can make errors, but we can just see the potential's there. Like, we don't know how far he's gonna go, but he's potential to be a good player. Like, he like, for example, if he went to, say, I don't know, I'm trying to think a middle kind of Premier League team, I think a lot of teams would look at that player and go, bro, why didn't we go try and get Gavaria Reed? I think he's that good personally. Okay,
fair enough.
And people could say he's lazy again because, again, he's from Feyenoord. But
yeah,
Gavaria Reed's good though. He's very good. They send a Matt's Wi-Fi shot. I can hold my hands up. That one, I think my Wi-Fi was the Wi-Fi was broke still. But
yeah. Another person I think of is someone like a Koundé. Talks are Barca want to sell him so they can get in like maybe a Vanderson or a Reed who they've been linked to. How do you feel about someone like Koundé? Or you look at someone like a Spurs who are struggling this season. If they don't win Europa, do you look at a Pedro Porro or Jed Spence as well?
You look at Jed Spence. You even look at a Porro as well. I think you look at both of them. Who's the other player you mentioned again? The third one?
Koundé. You
see the thing about Koundé?
Here's another one. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Do you look at him as a lock-up right back?
Don't get me wrong. He's improved since he's gone West Ham in terms of I've seen him go forward a little bit, but he's still a bit. I think we would get frustrated with Wan-Bissaka from an attacking point of view. We wouldn't get frustrated with him defensively, but I think we got to aim for better than that though. Because there's lockout right back and then there's not really offering much at all, guys. This is what I'm saying.
Do you know what? Some of the comments I see I just love it, Cal. I can imagine people saying these things that I'm reading.
Livermento's cold. I said, listen, Livermento I think is cold, but we're never getting it from
about Livermento from when he was at Southampton, bro.
Same. We're not getting it.
I'll be completely honest with you. I can't see any of Newcastle's top players leaving Newcastle this summer.
Because they're going to get
summer where they say we're building, we're not rebuilding or replacing. Like, it's probably going to be a strict no to certain players, and if you don't like it, tough. You're going to have to do one more year. Yeah, I genuinely think it's going to be one of those situations.
Do you know what it is with Koundé? Yeah. Sometimes I watch Koundé play and I think, no, Koundé kind of cold. Yeah. Then there's other days when I'm like, Koundé looks a bit funky, bro. I don't know what it is about Koundé. And it's because by trade, he's naturally a centre back, but he's played so well right back. So now you only see Koundé at right back. Like, again, are Barca going to want to let him go as well? Like, let's be realistic. Is Koundé going to want to leave Barca? I guess the only way you get Koundé is if you offer Barca a certain amount of money, because Barca always need money because they really haven't got that much. They're always trying to sell something. So I don't know, bro. I'm being honest. Koundé is good though. If I'm being honest, Koundé is probably the closest profile to old school Nathaniel Klein, maybe from a defensive standpoint. I would say. But attacking wise, you put in the odd cross. But other than that, that's about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Here's another shot. Do you try Gusto from Chelsea if they don't win conference?
But Gusto ain't leaving
Champions League.
But Gusto ain't leaving. Here's the thing: when you look at players in the Premier League, you got to think about, first of all, the club that they play for and their situation. Even if Chelsea miss out on the top 5, which is a possibility, Chelsea are not going to want to sell Gusto. So if you want to go and get Gusto, you're going to be paying way over the odds for him. Do we want to be doing that and spending so much money on a right back? That's where the problems creeps in. I don't think Liverpool would look at that. Liverpool won't look at that and go, we're not going to fight tooth and nail for Chelsea's right back, knowing that they're going to overprice him because we're rivals. It's not worth it.
I'm honestly not Mons. Big up to Beijing Reds TV in the building as well.
Big up Beijing.
Big up Drift. Welcome to the show. Right, going to move off to the next topic now.
So just quickly, Cal, because I could hear what you lot were talking about with the Bradley stuff. I personally think, I'm not taking a shot at you lot. I know you lot are just having a conversation, but I think people downplay us as Liverpool. So like I heard Matt saying about like the mentality of like fighting for a place, and you're not wrong. Like the Henderson thing was a good example of someone who didn't have the talent of a Gerrard, but his mentality got him to the same level. So like I totally hear what you're saying. At Liverpool, it's definitely about mentality. Same with Real Madrid and Man United, etc., etc. But what I will say though is, I feel like people are downplaying who we are too much in those types of conversations. Like we're Liverpool. You can't name me 5 clubs in world football who are bigger than Liverpool. So why would Bradley want to leave? I think it takes years for a player like Bradley to get fed up. Look at people like Elliott. Doesn't want to go anywhere. Liverpool have kind of messed them about for about 3 years now. Never been a starting person. Always been on the bench. Always a squad player. Been loaned out.
It's not about the size of the club though. It's about how the player wants to be, bro. Like
players who play for Liverpool know they're at the elite level, Cal. You've heard people talk about walking into changing rooms and thinking, oh my God, I didn't realize how good I had it at Liverpool. Look how basic this club is. Look how much of a drop the level is.
Some people also understand that football's a short career and they want to play football, bro. I don't think that's having a weak mentality if you want to leave Liverpool to play football if you're not playing regular football.
No, I'm not saying they've got a weak mentality. I'm saying they don't want to leave. I think people are downplaying who we are. We're elite. We are Liverpool. There ain't many places. I'll be honest with you. PSG for the money, Real Madrid and Barcelona for the glitz and the glamour. They're the only clubs bigger than Liverpool from a pool point of view. Maybe if Liverpool are pissing about, fair enough. But if you're talking about from a pool point of view, nobody leaves Liverpool for any other club, and it's because they think that's a bigger step or a better step, or that club's going to be better than the one they're at. We're Liverpool. So Bradley ain't even remotely thinking, if I'm not the starter, I'm going to go. Not yet. Not at this stage of his career. No chance. He's a Liverpool fan. His family are Liverpool born and bred. He's at Liverpool. What is he, 21? We ain't got to worry about Bradley at all for a good couple years. Like I said, Elliott is a perfect example. Elliott don't want to go anywhere.
He's got 2 years left on his deal.
He'll sign. We ain't got to worry about Bradley signing a new deal, guys. Not right. Nah, not at all. Bradley will stay. We're Liverpool, guys. Maybe a Konate with PSG or a Salah because the world's his oyster, or a Trent because he's the best right back in the world. Yeah, those players, the glitz and the glam of the Real Madrid, the Barcelona, you got to worry about that stuff. Money, PSG. He's obviously... Ibu is a PSG fan who is born in Paris. Like, I get that. But generally speaking, we ain't got to worry about players wanting to leave Liverpool, guys. No way. Bradley don't want to go nowhere. Nowhere. We're Liverpool. He knows an honor it is to play for this club. Trust me, we ain't got to worry about players like that. No way.
But
Bradley
let me
ain't
ask
going
you
nowhere.
this though. Let's say that we sign. Let's just say, for example, we signed Olaina. Let's just say we signed him on a free. We gave him a 3-year deal, and Bradley's got 2 years left. And let's just say Olaina started the majority of games. Do you not feel like Bradley would get disgruntled? Because this is what I'm going to say is this. This is why I spoke about mentality being you have to be on point, because Bradley might sit there and go, do you know what? All right, I lost this year's battle, but see, next year, I'm going to be the right back. Some players, and remember, it all depends on the player. Everyone's different. Bradley, I know you're saying, yes, he's looking at himself thinking I'm at Liverpool, but he might also go, but Olaine is now the first choice right back. And say, for example, you get into the last year of his contract and say the first couple of games, Bradley's still not the starter. He might be like, I think the writing might be in the wall if I'm going to play first team football. Because that's the reason why I say that, because this is all on the premise though that we sign a right back to challenge him. Remember, Bradley needs to have that mentality. Even if we sign a right back, well, I don't care. I'm the best. But what I don't know enough about him or his personality to know that he's like that. That's why I asked that question.
No, I hear you, but Aina's 28, right?
Yeah, that's just a 3-year deal. So it'd be what?
You can't be a
29,
fullback in the
31.
modern. You can't be a fullback in modern football and be at the top level past 30, in my opinion. I think Carl Walker is an absolute
Carvajal, bro.
All right. Could Carvajal handle the Premier League? I don't know. But all right, two examples of players who are still past 30 and performing at an elite level as fullbacks. Fullbacks are a young man's game. Look at Robbo. Robbo only just turned 30, and we're already like, what's happened to Robbo? For me personally, I think Bradley will still look at it and go, Aina's only going to be the first teamer for 1 or 2 years max anyway. I'm still young enough that I can hang around and take this guy's spot. Like, I don't think he's going to think, we signed him, I'm out. There's no way. Like, do you get what I mean?
It's not age, though, Drift. It's about mileage. It's not age. Just because Olaine is a certain age. Olaine is that age. I bet he's probably played way less minutes than Trent, for example, in his career. So it's not
to a degree, but mileage is. I think we think about mileage because of Klopp, and we know he used to rinse players. But generally speaking, 30 is still old, no matter how well you take care of yourself.
Rooney was done by 30. Henry was almost done by 31. It's not an age thing; it's a mileage thing. No matter what club you play for.
What did you lot say?
Yeah, but these men were all like being rinsed, right?
I know it's not right back.
So it's a little bit different. Like Rooney was like 27 and done. I get that. He was because he was rinsed.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to 30, if you play football regularly, you're still getting old. If you get what I mean. So like,
no, you are.
You're still not like gonna be able to outperform a 23-year-old. Do you get what I mean?
Well, watch this though. Remember, you and Cal were the first ones to tell me about the mileage on Declan Rice. Remember, you were like, for a 25-year-old, he's had how many minutes? And you guys were like,
I don't think he's gonna make it to 30.
But this is what I'm saying. But 30, I don't think he's old for a football player. Look at Modric. It's all about
no,
mileage,
not for a
bro.
football player, for a fullback, guys. When you're a fullback, is a young man's game, not a football player. Fullback. When you're a wing back, a fullback, a right back, it is a young man's game. You cannot be 30 plus performing at the highest. It's very rare. Of course, there's examples. For me, they're exceptions to the rule. They're outliers. It is a young man's game. So if we get Olaina in, by the time he's 30, he won't be the first team at Liverpool. I'll be very, very surprised. That's why I don't even think we'll go for him. Personally.
Time will tell.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that about the Bradley stuff. We ain't got to worry about Bradley going nowhere, guys. Bradley loves Liverpool. Liverpool is there's nowhere up from Liverpool apart from Barca and Real Madrid. PSG ain't even up from Liverpool. It's just money that might draw you to PSG. Or with Ibu's case, if he is a fan because he's from Paris.
Yeah, I understand that.
Barcelona and Real Madrid are the only step-ups from Liverpool. Only. I'm telling you, there's like I think we've got to stop this mentality of thinking.
Would you put Bayern in there? No. I wouldn't. But Bayern. No, I wouldn't say
step up from Liverpool. Maybe you would go to Liverpool, but
they're not step up, but they're seen as one of the top.
Yeah. They're an elite club.
Remember Bayern going there with Bayern, Real.
Bayern
Arsenal.
from Liverpool to Bayern would be a sidestep. It'd be a
Yeah,
sidestep.
it's not a
that's what
step
I mean.
up, but it's still.
it's not an upstep.
But that's
it's
what
a
I'm
side
saying though.
step.
It's still a sidestep, but it's still a top club though.
Yeah. So Barcelona and Real Madrid the only step up.
Yeah.
One of the things that we'd miss the most about Trent if he were to leave is his creativity. And we've seen it in the past few weeks. I think we lost Trent, was it the game before the Newcastle game? During the PSG game, right? We obviously lost the final against Newcastle, and a lot of us said lack creativity in that game. We've lacked creativity in a lot of games this season that Trent's not been available. And automatically everyone goes, well, the number 10 should be creating. And while I agree that Sobo needs to do more from a creative and attacking standpoint, I think it's unfair to put all the onus on him when there are another 10 players on the pitch. 9 on-field players, excluding Alisson. Salah and Trent have far and away been our most creative players this season. Like, it's not even close. If Trent goes, you are effectively cutting your creativity in half. Matt, I'll start with you. How does Liverpool solve this issue of creativity next season? If Trent goes.
You're not gonna find a right back that's gonna be creative like that. Bradley will be creative in his own way, but that creativity, like to Trent, no. So what you're gonna have to do is rejig the team a little bit. So you're gonna need more creativity from maybe the central of the park, potentially. And not only that, Szoboszlai again needs to step up. So let's say Szoboszlai steps up, that's maybe like half of what Trent can do. And then you need one other person that could be a winger or something. I don't think it's something that's like crazy that we're going to struggle. Because remember, you could look to yesterday and go, but we did struggle, which is true. But that's because we're so used to it. Look at Felipe Coutinho when he was there. We're literally used to give him the ball and say, take us to the promised land. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then what happened is we've got different players in system change and we changed. A couple of tweaks. All we need is a couple of tweaks and we'll be okay. Whether that's, like I said, Szoboszlai steps up, does his job, and another player steps up. Then you kind of fill in for Trent. But as a whole, you want the team as a whole to be more creative. Because I agree with you. Even though I understand Szoboszlai is a number 10, and if you're the number 10, bro, you got to start creating chances, bro. You're the 10 in it. The team can create more chances. Even the left winger, whether that's Diaz or Diaz we'll speak about later, obviously. Even Cody Gakpo as well, who I think has had a decent season, but kind of fell off a cliff, if we're being honest, since his injury. But we can do it, man. We're Liverpool. We always find a way. That's why I'm not really concerned. So I know it sounds daunting that we're gonna, missing Trent's creativity, but we're Liverpool, fam. We'll always find a way to do something. So I ain't even worried.
Not about being worried though, but what would you do to solve the issue?
What would I do though?
Yeah, if it was up to you.
I tell Szoboszlai, if you don't start creating more game time, we're gonna go and get number 10. In fact, I will go and get number 10 in the summer anyway. So go get me the player who doesn't run as much. Sorry, Andre, because I still rate Szoboszlai. Doesn't run as much, but he's going to create hella chances. So we might get caught in transition, and I understand that. But so we'll make adjustments in midfield potentially. Go and get number 10. Yeah, that's going to create more. And not only that, I'll probably go and get another forward player. Because when Nunes actually was on form, Nunes was creating chances as well. Remember, Nunes was getting assists. Remember, his first 2 seasons was getting good amount of assists. That's creating chances. Might not be creativity to a T, breaking down a low block, but he was creating chances. The players are there.
Drift, what would you do to resolve this?
Oh,
issue?
Sorry. Let McAllister off the leash just a little bit more, even though he kind of does his thing already, though.
If you let McAllister off the leash, Matt, do you need to bring in another centre midfielder to partner him?
Yeah, that's what I said. We make the adjustments. We've got to bring the midfielder anyway.
So just before I come to you, if you're saying let McAllister off the leash and get a new midfielder, is that you saying push McAllister into the 10 and then find someone to partner next to Grav? I'm
saying bring in a midfielder. So if we need to put Mac in the 10 because we don't buy that 10, put Mac in the 10. So I'll give an example. Everyone will go crazy for this. Pause. Everyone wants Belieber or Camavinga. Now I know we're probably not going to get neither, but I'm just going to say for argument's sake, we get either or. McAllister's freed up to play the 10 role. If Szoboszlai's not doing his job, you get creativity that way. Tell me I'm lying.
Fairs.
McAllister's got one of the best IQs in the team.
I'll go one further than that for you. I think you buy a 10 and you buy a Believer. I know he's had an absolutely brilliant season. Gravenberch holds bench. McAllister's creative from the deeper role, and then the number 10 is creative from the natural point of view. Like, we've fallen in love with our creativity from our fullbacks because Klopp created a system that was so perfect and brought us so much success. But that's because we had two outliers. Robbo was an absolute machine, second best left back in Premier League history, and Trent is the best right back in Premier League history from a creative point of view. We used what weapons we had, which is what good managers do, right? That's what was so genius about what Klopp did. Klopp actually said, I can't get Fekir, which is who I want, to be my creative spark. I'm going to use the weapons I already have. And then he created a system that allowed our fullbacks to be the creativity. No one else does that. So we just go back to a conventional way of playing. Man City, Arsenal, nobody uses their fullbacks for creativity. We're too used to it. So Matt's right. Once he goes, you just adapt. And you go back to a normal, traditional, conventional way of creating, which is your deep line playmaker, your number 10, and your wingers. That's been football for the whole of life, right? Like, generally speaking, that's because Trents don't come along very often.
We've spoken about the number 10. We've spoken about getting another centre midfielder to improve the creativity. Is there not an argument to say, though, that you should be getting more output from the fullbacks, barring Trent, and also from the wingers, barring Salah as well?
Depends which way you look at it, bro. Because if we buy proper attacking players in the summer, I don't want my fullbacks going past the halfway line. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Do you know why we get caught out? Because our fullbacks are always up the pitch.
Not all the time, no Drift. You see this season,
we get caught out because we're bad on the transition in midfield.
All right, that's
through the midfield.
I agree with that as well. But a massive reason why it's easy for us to get caught out is because our fullbacks are, like, let's be honest. A lot of the time, people hit diags against us, right? Into space in the fullback areas. We're always moaning about Ibu having to come over and cover. Robbo's out of position. He got down the left side. We've been doing that a lot in the last 18 or more months. Why? Because our fullbacks are very attack-minded. If you go and look at Arsenal as an example, or you go and look at City or any of those clubs, think about it. How often are their fullbacks up the field? Not very often.
Do you know
You don't get to just hit a diag in behind the right back spot like you do with us, and Ibu's got to come across and the whole team gets dragged out of position. But we put up with it. Why? Because we got the most creative fullback in world football, that it was so much more benefit than negative to playing that way. But you're playing against a Nottingham Forest, you're playing against, and they're like, look at that space, just hit it. And they'll just hit long balls, and eventually one of them might pull off. I.e., we lost to Nottingham Forest 1-0 because they did that when they went down our right side, their left side, bang, goal. Oh my days, what's happened? But it came from a transition, right? So I don't want my fullbacks doing that anymore. I don't want my fullbacks doing that anymore.
Sorry, Matt, really quickly.
Okay.
Drift, if I was to tell you that between both our left backs this season in the Premier League, they have 1 assist. Between our 2 left backs in all competitions, they have 3 assists total. Wouldn't you say that's an issue?
No.
I
only think that's an issue because the creativity from the other players is poor. If Soboslai was doing his thing, if Diaz and Gakpo had more assists, if those players were doing their part, I wouldn't care how many. This is what I'm saying again, Kai. You're not wrong, but we're too used to Robbo having 12.
But
these man battling it out to see who can get.
I never said to be getting double figures or anything. Everyone wants Kirkes. Kirkes has got 5 assists this season.
Yeah.
So
Robertson's got 0 assists in the Premier League this season,
which is shocking.
0.
That's shocking.
Tsimikas has got 1 assist in the Premier League this season. Robbo's got 1 assist in the Champions League. Tsimikas has 1 assist in the Champions League. They have 3 assists between them in a whole season of football.
Well, I need some context. How many assists do the others have? Like, to the fullbacks at all the other big clubs.
Trent, bro. I reckon Trent's gonna definitely.
No, forget Trent. Like, let's talk about Gusto, Jed Spence, Carl Walker, Ben White, Hatto. Not Hatto. Sorry.
Porro's on 5 assists. Who else do you want to say?
Drift. You see, when you're talking about
but the only reason I'm asking this is because I do want the context to be added of, are our fullbacks absolutely trash, or is it regular for fullbacks that only have 1, 2, 3
No.
assists.
But all right, let me
We're
ask you
too
this
used
though.
to having these
Robin,
players.
Robin,
who are brilliant.
Anthony
But you're
Robinson
saying-
from Fulham's on like 10 assists.
That's how he's on 10. That's what I'm gonna say.
But because he is part of their system.
No, but
That
bro,
is part of the way Silva
but
utilizes.
using your
Robertson and Tsimikas in the positions where they should be getting assists, and the cross, especially from Robertson, the cross or the pass is just terrible.
No, but I've seen times when they've whipped in brilliant balls and no one's just got on the end of it.
But not often, Drift. Not as often as we've sat there and gone, that's a poor pass or poor cross.
I don't know, man. I think it's 50-50. I don't think their crossing's as bad as that. I don't. I think their crossing is good sometimes. It's just
Robertson's
no one gets
crossing is shocking. Tsimikas is good. Here's what I'm gonna say though. The way how the modern game is now, you try and create overloads anywhere on the pitch you can, whether that's central, whether it's in the wide areas. Having players that can overlap, can create those overloads. Doesn't mean say that you have to both go at the same time. But say old school Trent and Robbo, we never used to do that anyway, not both at the same time. One would maybe hand back a little bit. All I'm saying is if we get that if we say we get the Kirkes in, yeah, Kirkes, if I'm not mistaken, like Cal said, he got 5 assists, and someone in the chat said he's got 2 goals. So that's 7 GA from your left back. And then you get the right back. The right back doesn't have to be as adventurous, but the right back can still create something. So like Conor Bradley might not get a ton of assists, but Conor Bradley's good enough to get assists if he's the starting right back potentially next season. I know what you're saying. You're thinking about getting caught in transition. You see Timber doesn't just stay at the back, you know. Ben White was another one. Ben White used to give the overlap to Saka. What it is, the difference is that
that was only when they was more attack minded.
No,
you don't do that no more.
Bro. Bradley's played half the games of Robbo and has 2 assists this season.
There we go.
And by the way, I'm not saying your fullbacks can never ever venture forward. I'm just talking about 75% of the time. I want my fullbacks being traditional. Stay at the halfway line. And I don't mean literally like when you get to the line and just stop, but you get what I mean. Like, I don't want them doing this whole, because the thing is as well, yeah, and this isn't even me trying to take shots at our wingers, yeah, because I think we have good wingers. But if I look at someone like, I don't know, like Nottingham Forest, for example, who I think have got 2 of the best wing combinations in the league, right? I think Hudson-Odoi and Alanga are 2 of the best combinations in the league for wingers. They don't have people that overlap them because they just take the player on themselves. Do you get what I mean? Like, as wingers, they just do the Doku. They just do the taking on of the fullback themselves.
When Gavardio's high, Gavardio's high, bro.
Olayena's got 2 goals and an assist. And look at how defensive Forest system is, Drew.
Yeah, but no, I'm not saying that they cannot do these things. I'm just saying
look at Gavardio though. When he not this season, maybe.
No, Gavardio's more goal scorer than an assister.
No, but Gavardio. Remember, I'm not talking about this season because this season, obviously, this season Man City ain't been that great defensively. But you see, like last season defensively, Man City, yeah. Gavardio be high up that pitch, you know, bro. Whether he gets a goal or assist, Gavardio's there because he's creating the overload on that side. This is what football. This is the thing.
He ain't getting to the byline and whipping in crosses, though.
No, we don't need to. But there's ways how to get your creativity.
He's still like kind of central with you.
But imagine Gavardio got how many goals because he wouldn't even cross it, Driv. He's not even going byline. He's inverting and going further forward, bro. He's going into the penalty box.
Because Man City's system is about compacting midfield, so it's totally different. Bro, it's not comparable. That's the point I'm making.
No,
we're talking about overlapping, right, and getting wide. Guardiola doesn't do that. No.
My argument is you want to create the overload. If Kirkes is there, that's calm because Robbo can't really do that anymore. That's the point. This is what I'm saying. So the creativity from Robbo is now gone, so to speak. Yeah. So you get Kirkes in with the right back. If Conor Bradley's fit all season, I'm expecting to get a decent amount of assists from Conor Bradley, and we might have to get another right back. What I'm saying is, though, we can't underestimate how important our fullbacks are to attacking. I know you don't want to get caught on the counter, but it's high risk, high reward. Not stupid, but you at times when you know you're pressing the opposition to the point where they can't move, you can't take that risk. Not saying they both go. One goes, one stay. That's how Arsenal do it. Sometimes they'll defend in the back three in it because the left back will tap back because Timber will go up high, or vice versa. It will be the left back, Skelly, who inverts into midfield.
Centrally with Arsenal, again, it's not wide. they don't go round Martinelli and Saka and overlap and cross balls. They come central and compact midfield.
Yeah,
Ben, no,
it's the
Ben-
But this
underlap.
is what I'm saying. It's not the same
No, but it's
thing.
the underlap. What I'm saying
White,
is,
Ben White overlaps Saka. That's how Saka
No,
gets space.
that was 2 years ago, Cal. Not anymore. If you watch
No,
Arsenal, it doesn't do that.
that's
no
Ben
more.
White's game. No, Timber's
That
a
was
bit.
back in the day.
Timber will
He
mix it
don't
up.
do that no more.
No, bruv, even Timber gets on the overlap.
Timber does
Bruv,
overlap.
when we say the overlap,
Barely.
we're not saying they have to do it every single for 90 minutes, you know. But you pick
Yeah,
your
They
moment. That's where
barely
football
do
IQ
it, man.
comes in.
They barely do it.
Bruv, Timber overlaps all the time.
he does.
I watch Arsenal a lot, and I don't.
But Drift,
see
you
him
know
do
why
it
they
all.
don't get caught in transition? Because those defenders have a desire to get back. This is why when I'm saying, you see Connor Bradley is better than Trent, a bit better because he has the desire to want to defend, the desire to get back.
I get what you're saying.
Robertson
man.
still has a desire, but doesn't have necessarily the energy as he used to get back. So if you got a Kirkes, bruv, we've seen enough of Kirkes. No, Kirkes will sprint back, bro, if he needs to put in a
I hear
slide
what you're
challenge.
saying.
So it's about getting the balance right, bro. So when we're saying take
Of course it
chances,
is, but I don't think it matters whether our fullbacks have a high number of assists. That's the point I'm making.
I never said a high number, Drift. I'm
then
saying
they don't need to.
0 and 1 is appalling.
Yeah,
For
they can do
Liverpool's
better
standard,
than that.
That's appalling. For the best team in the league, for a team that gets into the position so many times, to not have any assists in the
But
Premier
what
League.
is their what is their big chances created? Because then it will be a little bit easier to know whether it's because they're crap or not. Because if they are crossing it and no one's finishing it, that's not their fault.
But no, but bro, don't even go off stats. The eye test, do you know what the eye test tells me every time? Simicast is very, very good at picking out crossing, and his delivery is way better than Robert. Not saying Robert can't do it. Robert will be like every now and again. Robert will do it every now and again. My eye test just tells me, bro, like Simicast is very, very good, but he don't play enough. That's another thing. Simicast don't play enough, and when he does play, he's got to kind of get into form.
Robbo's created 6 big chances all season.
No, I know. Big up Mons.
So
technically,
he could be sitting here on 4 or 5 assists, and then it wouldn't look as bad.
Drift, we can't do that, bro, because you can do that with everyone then, bro.
Sorry,
that's
guys,
one in
No,
5
because
games.
obviously context needs to be added in the situation.
But
But it's
is
the same
context,
way if
but
I say Nunes scored 15 goals, you'd be like, yeah, but bro, he missed 40 big chances. Who cares? He's missing too many big chances. So it's like,
bro, he's
what's the
creating one big
difference
chance
between-
every 5 games, bro. That's not good enough. From left back, that's not good enough. It's not. We're Liverpool, bro.
If that's what you believe, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not bothered about the fullback's creativity. We're too used to that being the way we've been playing. So I think that's why
if Robert and Simicast were our left backs next season, you wouldn't have a problem with that.
It would be from a defensive point of view, it would worry me, not from an offensive point of view. I've never cared about their attacking part. It's been more just the defensive part that's bothered me.
It would worry me on both ends.
No, it wouldn't bother me from an attack, especially not Simicast. I think Simicast is a very good crosser of the ball. He just doesn't play very regularly. Maybe Robbo's time might be up from that point of view, but I ain't got an issue with Simicast. I think Simicast can cross the ball quite well.
In terms of wingers, then obviously Salah's just Salah in it, but I also don't expect Salah to have the season he's had this season, next season either, especially with him going AFCON as well. Do we have to look at our wide players, except for Salah, in terms of more creativity as well?
Yeah, they do need to start being a bit more creative.
And if that's the case, do we need to move on from the wingers we have, or what's the situation there? How do we resolve that?
I don't actually, because the thing is, I don't really know. It's a weird one because the players that we have, I like. The players that we have are good, but they're not creative. So it's a bit of a dilemma because I don't want to turn around and go, yeah, get rid of Gakpo and Diaz and get winger who's more creative, because I think they're good players. But at the same time, how else do you get creativity without one of them going? So it feels like a little bit of a catch-22 situation, if you get what I mean. Maybe one of them has to go reluctantly then. Maybe you keep one and one does go. I don't know. I think they're both probably as bad as each other when it comes to creating for others. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Or
If I
you
was to say,
find space for them in the squad somewhere else, maybe. I don't know.
if I said to you right now, you got to put your neck on the line, Drift. You can go and get who would you say? Let's say Mbappe wants to come to Liverpool. Real Madrid want to sell him for 5 million. FSG sanction it, and he wants to come and play left wing. Who would you sell, Gakpo or Diaz, to make space for him? Putting everything into context, slot system, Premier League, ages of both of them.
The only thing that makes it easier for me to make the decision is stylistically, it's good to have variety. So I would probably say Diaz and Mbappe are more similar than Gakpo and Mbappe are. So Diaz would probably reluctantly be the one who I would move on to have variety. That it'd probably be Diaz. And then keep Gakpo.
So here's the thing. I think Gakpo gets you more output over the course of a season maybe than Diaz does. But I also think Gakpo blows more hot and cold than Diaz in terms of ghosting games. Call me crazy here. Because of Gakpo's predictability, Diaz might be better suited to slots type of football.
So you would keep Diaz?
Oh no, I don't know what I'd do. Honestly, I genuinely don't. Gakpo and Diaz, for me, someone's got to go out the two, and we need to bring in a new left winger because I'm sick of our left winger. Also, Salah does it as well, but Salah makes up with the amount of goals and assists he gets, and the amount of match winning moments he has. But I get so annoyed watching my fullbacks my wingers get the ball and not being able to beat a man and not doing smart things with the ball, or not doing smart things with play, and losing the ball needlessly, and it frustrates the hell out of me. I can't lie. Like,
but are we not?
Every time Gakpo, we said it yesterday, Drift. Every time Gakpo gets the ball, we know what he's going to do in it. We know what he's going to do. It's one of two things: he's going to cut in and shoot, or cut in and cross. When Diaz gets the ball, we don't know what he's going to do, but 9 times out of 10, it really comes to nothing. If we're going to be honest. It frustrates me when there's so many wingers out there who, in my opinion, would be more decisive if they were in a better team. It does frustrate me. Because if we're this team that we all think we are, then there shouldn't really be the amount of excuses we have for all these different players. They're clearly not doing exactly what they should do.
This is the thing that does kind of confuse me a bit, though, if I'm being honest with you, is that I understand people saying that they want to improve because, of course, we can improve. But why do we keep having conversations amongst our fan base about all these issues when we've won the league? We clearly aren't that bad. We've won the league. Like, if these players are as bad as some people make out, we wouldn't be able to win anything. So I do get a little confused with how much criticism our players get and how much, I've seen some conversations with some Liverpool fans, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we need to get rid of 8, probably bringing about 6 or 7." Bro, a squad that needs that much rotation and that much change ain't good enough to win a league. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just wrong, but a team that needs to get rid of 8 man and bring in about 6 or 7 ain't a team who can win a league title.
Hold on, the conversation's moved on. What are we talking about now, sorry?
Play our wingers being good enough or not? No, I'm just asking a question, just generally based on because we constantly keep having conversations amongst our fan base, about what needs to be
what
done
we can improve and okay.
But bro, I feel like everybody is just going way overboard. I feel like it's just constant negativity about this brother ain't good enough, 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 this brother ain't good enough. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. I understand we can improve on the squad. Everybody can improve on their squad. Fuck, Real Madrid can improve on their squad. I get that. But we keep having conversations amongst our fan base. like I said, like I'll see some conversations. I'll take part in some conversations on Twitter, people and stuff like that. I'm like, people are like, yeah, like we need to take like 7, 8, 9 players out, bring in about 6 or 7. This needs to change. We need 2 in defense. We need 2 in midfield. We need 2 up front. We need all. I hear all these conversations. I'm like, a squad that needs that much change ain't a squad that's good enough to win a major trophy. We just won the league. Are we that bad, or is this people nitpicking and being way overboard and too hyperbolic about what they think is wrong or right with what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, we got 2 wingers on the left. And again, yes, they can be improved upon. I'm not saying they can't. But they've got 21 GA each. That's 42 GA from left wing. How are they that bad?
No, they're not that bad though.
But everybody acts like they're a pile of shit, and we just got to get rid of them both, and we got to replace them.
I think what people are saying,
no one's saying they're crap, Drift. But
no,
if we can improve on them,
people are acting like they are with the conversation. They've got to go. He ain't good enough. If I'm not gonna lie, if someone says he's not good enough, it's a roundabout way of saying he's crap. You're not literally saying he's crap, but if you say he ain't good enough, that's your way of saying it nicely.
We're saying he's not good enough for Liverpool. Just because he might not be good enough for Liverpool doesn't mean he's crap.
All conversations are about us, right? So
that means he's not crap.
Still think you're saying
that means he's not crap.
Rubbish.
It's not you're going too extreme, bro. Like, it's not
well
that.
For us. Otherwise, you'd be like, boy, do you know what? He's good, man. But if we could improve on him, then I would. But people are, nah, he's not good enough. We need to get rid of him. We need to bring in someone else. Like, for me, that conversation is you basically saying, it's a nice way of saying, well, it's not even a nice way of saying, but it's just like you saying, he's rubbish, man. I don't like him.
All right, what I think can happen at times is this.
21 GA each.
All right, and now I'm not talking about the forward line, but in the midfield, some people were still happy with the midfield. Henderson, Fabinho, Red, and they left for different circumstances. Henderson obviously left. I think he got told he's not really going to play. Fabinho, we got a good offer. A lot of us felt we needed a revamp anyway. And it was only until we had surgery, people kind of understood it. And then you see what happened afterwards and we're like, okay, it was the best thing to do. One thing you don't want to do is...
They've fallen off a cliff, Matt. That's a wrong example.
No, they're falling off a cliff. But no, it's not a wrong example because a lot of people were saying keep Henderson, keep Fabinho. Some people were Drift. Some people
for
were
the
saying
squad, not for first team.
But this is my argument, not Drift. This isn't... Sometimes you have to look at it and go, is it time those players move on? Is it time? Can we improve on them? They might not have fallen off a cliff because Gakpo and Diaz, like you said, they've had two decent seasons, good seasons, in fact. They haven't been amazing, but they've been good.
To being finished.
I understand that. But I think it's different.
Just let him land you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, he said something, so I'm just talking about what he's saying.
But with Diaz has got the contract situation. With Luis Diaz, people feel like he's already hit his ceiling. Is that good enough, or can we improve on that? I'm of the opinion when it comes to Luis Diaz that I think Diaz is good, and I would not. For me, I wouldn't be looking at to sell him. It would only be if we get an offer that's so good where we go, all right, cool, we got the great offer. Now see what we can do, because like you said, there's not many better left wingers in the Prem than Luis Diaz, but you can you can still improve on him.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I feel like you go to the extremes.
I'm speaking to the large people, bro. Not you.
No, but I don't think there's large people in the chat, is there?
Bro, amongst the Liverpool fan base, the common metric around Diaz is not good enough, get rid of him. So I'm not talking to you. I know you don't think
Diaz,
way.
Maybe Diaz does fit the fan base.
That is an overwhelming opinion on Diaz in our fan base. Not good enough, get rid of him. And I find that confusing as fuck. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not talking to you lot. I'm talking to the majority who do think that way. And it is actually that. And Gakpo's the same. And the majority are like, nah, he's not good enough. Get rid of him. And I'm just so baffled as to why people think that way about our 2 left wingers when they got 21 GA each.
All right, but hear this now.
I'm confused.
All right, ignore the left wingers. This is where I feel like we can have an evolution in our forward line. Because you got 2 strikers. One of them, he's had his worst season ever. That's Diogo Jota. Do you give him another chance? Or is this Diogo Jota, who that's now him because of the amount of injuries that is accumulated? And then you've got a Darwin Núñez, which we'll speak about another time, maybe a bit later. We kind of know the writings on the wall and he didn't hit the heights that we thought he would. So that's where you go look at it and go evolution. You just look at it. It's not here's the thing. Liverpool's team doesn't need a revolution. It just needs an evolution. You just need to bring in my opinion, because I think we can all agree here. If our owners were of the same mindset of the people in the chat and us here, you go and get an Isak, and then you go and get maybe a Delap or something like that, or Nekatika. I'm just saying for argument's sake. That's what we, as a fan base, what we would want to do. There's nothing wrong in saying that. In regards to Diaz and Gakpo, me personally, like I said, I'm not looking to throw either of them out of the door. So unless we get a stupid offer, why am I selling? Because who are the people I'm going to bring in? They're going to probably be younger players who have now got to learn their trade at Liverpool and then try and replicate at the same time what the other two have been doing this season and last season. So I wouldn't do that. Then you move into the other parts of the pitch. We've always wanted another centre mid because we feel like the midfield is a bit light. You go get a centre mid and then you go and get a centre back as well because, as we know, we've got injury problems. Joe Gomez is always injured. We never replace Matip. And Kwanzaa, me personally, I wouldn't throw Kwanzaa as the... I put it like this, if we got a big injury to Virgil or Ibu, I wouldn't feel comfortable with Kwanzaa stepping in next to either Kanate or Virgil if one of them two got injured. So that's why I say evolution, not revolution. So all that talk about people saying they want about 6 or 8 players, that's crazy. You don't need 6 or 8 players. You don't.
But,
You don't.
but bro,
You just need the evolution.
There's an overwhelming amount of people in our fan base who actually are like, move Ibu on, he's not good enough.
It's not overwhelming, Drift.
I've seen people say...
I see it every week.
I haven't, yeah.
Then it's overwhelming,
it's
bro.
Not, no, but again, Drift, you're speaking about what you see, bro. Just because of what you see, and probably it's not overwhelming, bro.
No, I'm not saying the majority of people are saying that. I'm saying an overwhelming amount of people. Overwhelming is like, it's confusing for the scenario. So as far as Ibu's concerned, it's overwhelming because it's like, wow, there shouldn't be anybody thinking this. And there's this many people thinking this.
Well, people want Ibu to go. They don't think he's good
the
enough.
People saying that he has brain farts, he's not good enough, his concentration.
But when you say overwhelming, Drift, overwhelming suggests that it's the majority of the fan base that wants that.
No, because then I would just say majority. Overwhelming is like when you're like, when it's like a lot for you to take in, you're like, bro, what's going on here? Like, why am I seeing this?
Me personally, I haven't seen that. All I've seen is people say,
I've seen it a lot, and I'm like,
stays. If
wow,
not, we might
our
have to sell
fan
him
base
because we
actually are like starting to think Ibu's not good enough. What the hell?
No, Ibu's
but all right, we'll even use.
No, I'm so
no, but not even to throw. No, but you see, Mons had a conversation.
Never said he wants Ibu to go, for example.
Mons never said he wants. This is where me and Mons disagree. Big up Mons. Mons says, Rare Tete is the Bozo gene, but he's like, Matt, I still rate him. I still think
I'm
he's
not
quality,
even talking about Mons. I didn't even know Mons was saying.
No, because people in the chat was. So I wanted to address it because people are acting like Mons is saying he wants Ibu sold. He doesn't want Ibu sold. What he's saying is he wants Ibu to improve because he feels like he's got Bozo moments in him. That's this. Me and Mons have had that conversation. So Mons ain't even speaking like that. But I don't think I've ever heard people say we need. The only thing I've heard people say is that, we might have to sell him if he doesn't sign a new deal because we can't allow him to go for free. And that's where it does get techie, because I haven't said that regarding the Trent situation. We can't allow top players to keep leaving for free. That's where it gets techie. But I want Ibu to stay. You might not want Ibu to stay.
No, I know. Like, I think it was about a week ago, and I was in a I keep calling it Twitter's X. Or
so
whatever.
I'm baffled with all this.
And I was in one of those. And I was in one of those.
Not good enough. Sorry, not good enough.
And I was just listening in. And I couldn't believe I was hearing people talk about Ibu needs to go and he gets some. And I was like, bro, this is mad. Like,
I haven't seen
really
it. Ibu needs to go.
How many people are in that spaces, for example, Drew?
I don't know. There's probably about 100 people in it, I think.
Drop in the ocean, bro.
No, but we could say that about most. But what I'm saying is,
no, you can't, because if you were to say that the majority of Liverpool fans want Nunes gone, then I'd be like, yeah.
I never said majority. I said overwhelming, as in like it overwhelmed me that there was that many people that think he's not good enough anymore. Not majority. If it was majority, I would have said majority. Anyway, the point is, most of our squad people think at least 2 or 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, 2 or 3 attackers. That's what a lot of people are saying Liverpool need to bring in. And I'm not disagreeing with it on one hand, but more squad than first team. A lot of people think first team. Like new left winger, first team, not squad, first team. New striker, first team. New number 10, first team. New DM, first team. New centre back, first team. New right back, first team. New left back, first team. That's 7 players.
Let me ask you this: do you think we need
to
a starting?
But
let me ask you this: do you think we need a starting left back?
I think we need a starting left back. Yeah.
Do you think we need a starting centre forward?
Yeah.
Do we need a starting DM? Because you want Belabor, you want Grabber on the bench,
and those are the only 3 I think we need to start. We don't need a starting right back. We don't need a starting 10, and we don't need a starting left winger.
If you said you wanted a new 10, bro.
Yeah, but Szoboszlai I said is to have variation. Szoboszlai has been important to this season.
No, but you still want a starting 10, though, right?
All of a sudden, just not play anymore.
No, but you wanted to start. You would take Ryan Shirky.
I just want Shirky.
So that's a start. So that's already.
Right, so that's already. I don't really think you should start every game. It'll be horses for courses.
No, but the majority of games for you, right?
No, it would actually just be horses for courses. Whoever we're playing, I would just assess it and be like, who's better suited to play in this game? It wouldn't just be raw, dash Szoboszlai away and never give him another chance again.
You're not saying that though, Drift. Again, you're going too far.
You lot keep acting like I'm saying you lot. Stop taking it personal. I'm just talking about what I've heard.
I'm not taking it personal. I'm just trying to kind of understand.
No, but Cal literally just said, we're not saying that, Drift. I'm not saying you're saying that.
I'm talking about the fan base, bro. I'm not talking about me and Matt. I'm talking about the fan base. No one's saying dash Szobo away.
They are. If you listen, they are. They are. All right, do a poll right now, just amongst we got 1,200 in there. Do a poll.
When we say bringing a starting player, we're not saying to someone who's in the team they're not going to see pitch again. They're obviously going to be rotated because not one player can absolutely play every single game of every single season. But if you're bringing in a new 10, like I want to do with Shirky, Shirky's going to be my main starting 10, and so Szoboszlai is going to fill in during the season. That's not saying I'm going to dash away Szoboszlai. That's me saying I want a new 10 because I want an upgrade on the position in that team. We need a new left back. If Trent goes, we need a starting right back. We need a new DM. We need a 10. We need a striker. So we do need 5 new starters as of right now. Like, I don't see why that's such a crazy thing to say.
I never said it's a crazy thing to say. I said people saying that we need to replace that many people in our first 11 is weird to me when we have a title-winning team.
But Drift, apart from the number 10...
Man United needs 7 new players. Tottenham needs 7 new players. Man City kind of needs 7 new... Do you get what I mean? Chelsea probably needs 7 new players.
I think you're thinking about
don't need 7 new players.
You're thinking about the quantity, but I don't know. I don't think we need 7, but if you get 4... I don't think we sign 5, by the way. But let's just say we get 4 high quality players. That's evolution. And 5 obviously is even. I mean, 5's nearly revolution, but you get what I'm trying to say. 4 is evolution, though. Left back. Where was I going again? Left back. 2 strikers. A 10. I don't think we're gonna get all these players, but I'm just saying for argument's sake. That's an evolution. There's nothing wrong with having an evolution after you win a title, you know. Remember, like,
there's a poll going, by the way, guys, to vote.
And Drift, isn't the aim to improve your first 11 so the players in your first 11 become your squad players?
Yeah.
So once again, what would be wrong with doing that then?
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing it. I'm saying when people are saying it's what we need to do or we're going to be rubbish or these players aren't good enough, so we need to replace them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anybody can improve at any time, but I'm talking about it. There seems to be this worry in our fan base that the players aren't good enough. And if we don't do this, we're going to be rubbish.
Do you think we need a right back?
A squad right back, yeah. Bradley, for me, is good.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's
I've already gone on record of saying we've already got our right back. Bradley is.
So you think would you start Bradley week in, week out next year and you'd be comfortable with that?
100%. If you can stay fit, 100%. I've got no issue.
That's a thing though, because
so that's why I say bringing Olaine is a great person to buy. I've got no issue with that. He's not coming in to be my first teamer.
But you'd have to bring in the right back because Bradley's had a history of injuries. So that means you have to bring in the right back. We know the left back needs to change. We've all agreed that if we could get a Shirky, we would do that. We would replace Darwin Núñez as 4. and a lot of people would replace Jota, and that's not even talking about the wingers. So that's 5. Nearly 5 or 4.5.
No,
the
but I don't
Jota
think
thing.
all of them. No. I think Liverpool should maybe buy about 5 or 6 players, but only 3 of them first 11. People. The conversation I'm seeing are like we need 6 or 7 first teamers.
I haven't seen this, bro.
People think we should buy a new left winger to start over Gakpo and Diaz. People think we should buy a new striker, which I think everybody universally agrees.
Yeah,
with
we
that
need
part.
striker.
People are saying we should buy a new number 10 to start, a new DM to start, a new left back to start, a new right back to start,
Trent
and some people are even saying a new centre back to start.
I've not seen a centre back to start.
No, I haven't seen a centre back either.
Even if you take away the centre back, because the conversations I've heard around that, I have been like,
the centre back was
mad. Even if you take away the centre back, that's 6 players to start for Liverpool, not to be a part of the squad to start.
Who were
no
the
6 players is more than half.
So left wing, striker 10, DM left wing,
back,
left back,
right back.
Yeah, because we're losing a right back.
No, but so Cal, you agree we need 6 first team players?
If it was
first
up to
11,
me,
6 first 11 players.
Yeah, if it's up to me, Drift, I'm doing it. Yeah.
See, so I'm not. So you've not been arguing with me that I'm seeing these things that aren't real, and then
No, I'm arguing to say that you think it's crazy that anyone would think we should do that. Why is that crazy?
I think it's crazy for people to think that that's a necessity. That if we don't do that, we're not going to be good enough.
No, that's a different argument.
I never said we wouldn't be good enough. But again, good enough is subjective. What's good enough? Because I want to win the Premier League next season.
Bro, all I'm saying is a team who needs 6 new first 11 players ain't good enough to win the Premier League. So somebody's wrong. So you can be good enough so you're saying because you're good enough to win the Premier League this season, you're automatically gonna be good enough to win it next season. No, but it means that you're too good to need more than half of your first 11 changed. I don't quite think you lot are realizing what a dramatic change 6 of 11 players is. No, I am. But
I'm not even saying
how much of a dramatic change that is.
Yeah, but Drift, I also realize that realized, Drift, that you don't need to start all new 6 players on the first day of the new season. They can be integrated and changed throughout the season, and rotation's a real thing. So even though I'm saying bringing these players, I'm not saying from day one you oust the others and they become your starters from day one. I'm saying for me, Bradley's excellent for what he is. But if we're sitting there saying we can't buy a better right back than Bradley, or the people in charge can't find a better right back than Bradley, then I'm pretty sure that they can do that. I'd be very surprised. Left back, I think, kind of speaks for itself. We sit here every game and talk about how we get run through in midfield and that we want a combative DM. So again, you just said if Baleba comes to Liverpool, you yourself said you'd sit Gravenberch on the bench. Gravenberch would have to hold bench. Yeah,
striker, DM, left back. Those are the 3 positions I think need to be improved on for the first 11. Yeah.
But most people would say right back as well. So that's 4 players.
And again, I'm not saying everybody is wrong. I personally just find it wild.
And we've got to bolster the centre back spot because you got
6 players.
Gomez.
So why do you get so frustrated with Szoboszlai then?
Because he's capable. It's not because I think he's crap. It's because he's not doing what he's capable of.
No, but whether he's capable or not, bruv, he's not doing it.
Yeah,
and
so
he hasn't been doing it.
You just hope one day it clicks and he just does.
So how long do you wait for then, Drift?
Well, that's why you have somebody who can rotate with him, so that if he's having that poor form, then you bring that player in.
But you know what it is as well, though? If you said it, yeah, we're Liverpool, yeah. I don't think we should be even worried if, let's just say, the crazy happened and we brought in, which I don't think is going to happen. Let's say we brought in 5 players. But that just bolsters the squad. If like however Slot chooses to use them, I don't think it matters. Like, because for example, you buy the centre back, he adds competition because if Konate gets injured, we then have to go to either Kwanzaa or Gomez. Gomez is always injured, right? Kwanzaa, a little bit shaky at times. It showed a little bit more promise towards the end of the season. Yeah. Left back, we need new left back, need new striker. I do think Conor Bradley by himself, I do worry because again, I will sit here and I will say it over and over again. Conor Bradley is not some lockdown right back. He does, like we saw it yesterday. Not only that, he does pick up injuries, so you need to get another right back, even if it's for rotation, even if someone to challenge Bradley.
Yeah, but I've never said we don't need to bring in players.
No,
squad.
but I mean, first team squad at the same time, we need players. We are Liverpool. We got to evolve.
Yeah. No one's arguing that.
We
I'm
can't
just
stay
arguing about
stagnant and think
against six
boom.
first 11. Like I said, if you lot disagree, then that's fine. If people in the chat disagree, that's fine. That's what this conversation is about, right? Discussion.
Yeah, of course.
But for me personally, even like what Cal just said, 6 first 11 players, I think that is more than an evolution, Matt, if I'm being honest with you. And that for me, that's not an evolution. If you change more than half of your team,
yeah, that's a revolution. That's a revolution.
Exactly. So that's where I'm saying I can't understand how people can think that that's a necessity when we won the league.
See, the thing is, I don't know the
team good enough to win the league, but we're not a team good enough.
No,
to
I don't know the conversation you've seen.
Half the team.
But one thing I would say is, there's nothing wrong with a revolution, especially if it goes well. It only looks bad if the revolution doesn't go well, because at some point the club needs a revolution, and I get it. I don't think we need a revolution. We just need an evolution. But
remember, we're in this situation because we haven't done anything in the last 3 windows.
We do that kind of scat gun approach, innit? A couple players here and there.
Again, look,
if some don't work out, then it's like you have to go back to the same thing again.
Next season is next season. I get that, and anything can happen different. I get it, but for me, we got the best squad in the league, and yeah, I just don't think we need that much change. I just think we need a couple tweaks, and we're fine. Honestly, just a couple tweaks. I don't think we need that much of a drastic change. I just don't. I think 6 changes, possibly 7 to the first team is a lot.
No, we don't need 7 first team change. That's mad. We don't need that. We don't even need 6 first teamers.
Cal just said we do. Literally just said we do.
No, but Cal's saying, did you not say the squad? But squad are the first
teamers, bruv.
No, I would like 6 to come into the first, or challenge the first team enough where you're going, I don't know who starts this game. Like if we sign Shirky, I'm saying the majority of games we play against teams who like to sit deep against us. Therefore, we need creativity from the 10. Therefore, Shirky would start a lot of my games. A striker speaks for itself. I've said if we don't sign a new left winger, we keep Gakpo and Diaz, I can live with it. But in an ideal world, I'd like to get a starting left winger as well. The combative DM, I think, again, speaks for itself, but that should have been sewn up 3 years ago. It hasn't been. Left back, we're in that situation now because Robbo and Simic, like Robbo has had a massive drop off this season, or else it wouldn't have been a thing where we'd be speaking about left back. We'd be speaking about getting an understudy. And then right back, I'm only speaking about right back because it looks like Trent's going to be going. So I'm not sitting there saying, let's sell Trent and sell Bradley and bring in a new right. I'm saying, I don't think Bradley is going to stay fit enough across the course of the season for us to be able to maintain a Premier League. And I can't rely.
No, I agree with that.
I can't rely on Kwanzaa to be our right back. So go and get me a right back who's better than Bradley, so that if Bradley's not available, I'm not pissing my pants thinking, what we're going to do. Is it Gomez or is it Kwanzaa right back today against Newcastle? Like, I don't get why this is so hard to fathom.
No, the right back thing is obvious. You can't only have one right back. That's obvious.
Like,
the only conversation I have about right back is whether people think Bradley's good enough or not. And I think Bradley's good enough. Some people don't. That's a conversation. That's fine. Of course, we need to buy a right back because we only have one. Yeah, of course. For the squad, we have to buy a right back. Of course, you can't only have one right back. 100%, I agree with that. But I just don't believe that it has to be a right back who's better than Bradley because Bradley's not good enough, which is a conversation that I've seen people saying, do you think Bradley's good enough or not? I think he's good enough. So I have no issue with bringing in someone who's for the squad. I don't think it's like he has to be better than Bradley because Bradley's not good enough. So that's the only conversation that I have around right back. But other than that,
my thing is, and it's for me again, it's not just about Premier League. I want to be winning Europe as well. Like, call me crazy. I want multiple trophies. Like,
I believe Bradley's good enough for that. I think he'll prove himself to be good enough for that. That's my opinion. If people disagree, that's fine.
No, Bradley's good, but I just think we can't rely on Bradley all season with the amount of injuries that he pick up. And again, we need someone that can challenge Bradley. That's you know what I mean. We need someone that can challenge him.
Right. Darwin Núñez, final topic before we do supers and head out. Darwin Núñez has been linked with a move to Saudi for the longest time. However, Fabrizio has come out today saying that there are suitors in Europe. Don't want to spend long on this because we all know he's going to be leaving in the summer, barring a miracle at this point. Does Liverpool's transfer window have, or will there be a big impact depending on where Darwin goes? For example, if he decides against a move to Saudi and wants to stay in Europe, is there a chance that it could stifle us a little bit in the market, given that Saudi were willing to offer a certain amount for him and we don't expect to get those sort of offers from a European team?
What would be the difference, like money-wise?
I mean, there's no... I mean, Saudi offered, what is it, 70, 80 mil or something like that? I don't think a European team would go above 50. Maybe 60, an absolute stretch.
I don't think the difference between 50 and 70 is big enough for it to affect our business.
Also, there could be a question whereby you could go, we got, what, 3 years left on his deal? Teams may also try and get a loan and then an obligation to buy it or an option to buy.
That's one thing we can't do, by the way. If Liverpool loan him with some type of obligation.
Loan with an obligation's fine, Matt, because it means they have to buy him.
Yeah, but I'm worried about the loan with the option.
A loan with an option doesn't make any sense
because remember,
he could end up back at Liverpool, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but a loan with an obligation.
So,
yeah,
in my opinion, you sell him to Saudi.
Well, it's about where he wants to go.
I was going to say, we can't force him to go where he don't want to
go.
Force him to go there. I'm not going to lie. I know you lot all don't think he's good enough, but Núñez is way too good to go Saudi at 25. Like, I know a lot of people don't like him. He can go easily back to Portugal or go to Spain or go to Italy and light up those leagues. Like, he ain't like over the hill, let's go Saudi. Like,
bro, I'm taking my
bag if he goes.
No, I know, but I'm taking my emotion out of it. I'm thinking for the best for the club is to sell him to Saudi, bro. We want to get
yeah.
Obviously, if he wants to go Atletico or something, because he's the killer. I think he's an Atletico Madrid striker. I really do. Griezmann's on the decline. You got Soloff there. Soloff is a bit funky as well. I see a lot of Atletico this season. He is an Atletico Madrid striker to a T. He's got the passion, the desire, and I think not only that, I just feel like Simeone will put his arm around him and be like, "You're the main guy." It don't matter how, like, you're the main guy, so he would do well there. It just depends about the offers, innit?
Yeah, I mean, they can't afford it, but even like Sporting, if Gyökeres goes and they brought Núñez,
no, but they wouldn't have the money, Drift. They wouldn't have the money.
No, that's what I said. I don't think. No, but I'm just thinking of teams I think he would do well. So, like, if he went to Sporting and replaced Gyökeres, he's used to the league. I think he'd go and do well back in Portugal.
No, of course,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that he can go to other parts of Europe and do really well. But yeah, if they pay 75 mil for Duran, then we can get 75 mil for Núñez. Let's be 100%.
Real. 100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
The deal was nearly done between Liverpool and Al Nassr, yeah, but they got Duran instead. Reportedly, and I say reportedly, I'm not ITK. I say reportedly, he was very close to going. Liverpool pulled the plug at the last minute because we realized we weren't going to get none of the strikers that we wanted to try and get at that time were even remotely available. So we said we revisit in the summer. So that's why the links with Saudi haven't gone nowhere. There's still interest there. I do think it just depends on Núñez. I do think his career is done. And the reason why I say that, I said it, I don't know, a month or so ago. I said, Slot, forget about what he says. Actions speak louder than words. It don't matter what Darwin Núñez does. It don't matter if he scores a hat-trick in the training, he ain't playing. You can just see it. How many times have we seen it with certain players that no matter what they do, they're not starting? For me, the same thing. Kyle, I hope you don't mind me saying this. The same thing for Chiesa. The same thing. There are certain players where their writing is on the wall.
Elliot as well.
Elliot might have a little bit more.
Elliot's been treated like trash this season.
No, he has. But Elliot at least gets garbage time minutes. Chiesa, Darwin, nada. They're not no minutes. It don't matter what they do in training. They're not starting.
Leave. I don't know why. I just don't
gone.
think Chiesa's gonna leave.
Bruv, that's blatantly we bought him for 12. We're gonna spin that 18, 20. You want to bet?
No, I'm not saying it can't happen. For some reason, I just think he'll be here still.
Bruv, Chiesa done. Chiesa done. Nunes, they're done.
We have seen multiple examples in football over the years where for some reason a player in the first year is not really used, but then for some reason
You
in the
might be
second
right.
year he
Yeah, if
becomes
there's
more
like
popular.
the thing is, maybe more so with Chiesa, but do you know what it is? The more I see Chiesa, the more I just feel like it was a management signing, but Slot was just told that this is the player, like we can get this player, like make it work. And
Do you remember when Solanke first got to Bournemouth and he wasn't really being played?
No, I
and we
know, I
thought,
know, I
oh
know.
my God, this guy's career is going to be like nothing.
Yeah.
And then in the second season, he started to get playing and he turned into such a good player. You got to move to Tottenham. Like sometimes that first year is just a weird year. Do you know what I mean? And then they start getting used again. I don't know. It's weird.
I knew Nunes was fully done after Jota pulled up one of the worst forward performances I've seen away to PSG.
Oh, at Liverpool, I agree with you. His time,
No, this is what I'm talking about. At Liverpool, I said if Jota can do that and start the next game, Nunes is done. It don't matter what he does because the manager's basically saying, And there's been reports as well of a rift, but Slot did say he was feeling unwell. Remember, he wasn't in the squad for one of the games, but there are reports that they've had a little bit of a thing. And you know what? Even though it hasn't worked for Darwin, I actually do feel sorry for him because all you can do is put the ball in the back of the net in training and hope that you play. The fact of the matter is, he must look at Jota and think, brother, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't scoring no goals, and yet you still starting. What's going on? If you're Darwin Núñez, you're sitting at home thinking, it's not even like this guy's outperforming me or something. Like he's not doing nothing that make me think that he's like I'm inferior to him. Jota has had a horrible season, and Darwin still can't get no game time. That tells you everything you need to know what the manager thinks. It's sad though. He's going outside. Like if I'm being honest,
Núñez is going, but
he's
I don't
going
know
outside,
about Chiesa. I don't know.
When I say
Chiesa,
going outside,
for some reason, I have a feeling Chiesa will still be here.
Slot should have given him some garbage time minutes. I can't lie to
Bro,
both of them.
Chiesa wasn't even on the bench yesterday, Drift, bro.
No, I know, but like I think it's a combination of me thinking if Slot gets a pre-season with him, and obviously he is a good squad player, I think he's more than a squad player. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, you know, like a lot of people who are saying, like, oh, we need a left winger, we need a left winger. We kind of already have it in Chiesa, if I'm being completely honest. Like, if you really think that we should upgrade on Gakpo and Diaz, isn't Chiesa already that anyway? Like, we're sleeping on Chiesa, you know. Like, I'm being serious. Like, we are sleeping on Chiesa.
The thing really is, there's a player there, I think, but
he's so good, man.
But he needs. Do you know the problem is with Chiesa?
Not though, Drift, not us, bro.
Yeah, Chiesa needs that season where he's allowed to kind of get his rhythm back, like he needs that season. But the problem is, Slot just feels like every game, obviously, like is a must win. So like we can't even give you minutes. But to me, that's rubbish because. I know there's a lot of games recently we've won 1-0, but you see when there's like 5 minutes left and you just think to yourself, bruv, just bring on Núñez and Chiesa, make them still feel part of the squad, man. Inside training ain't fooling nobody because I see man laughing and joking in the canteen. It's gonna mean more to them if they actually get minutes on the pitch. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel sorry for them because there's nothing worse than knowing that you can affect a game or you still have something to prove and the manager's not giving you a chance.
No, I take it back. I actually agree with you lot in the chat. You're right. It's not us sleeping on him, it's Slot. You're right. I agree. Because I did say we're sleeping on him. It's right. It's Slot sleeping on him. You're right. I think the majority of our fan base do realise Chiesa's good. You're right. So I'll rephrase it. Slot,
how many times have we said
sleeping on Chiesa?
Chiesa should start, or not even that. Jota's had a mare today. I hope he starts. But
I would be very, very shocked if Chiesa didn't impress in pre-season and then maybe find a way back into the team next year. I would be quite surprised if he wasn't.
Why'd you be surprised, though, Drift, given that from the evidence we've seen, Slot doesn't even... We can be winning in a game by how many goals? Chiesa still...
Because I'm trying to put it down to circumstance, using some logic. I think people underestimate that Slot was under a lot of pressure to impress this season. So I think that's why he stuck with a lot of people who are like his favourites or whatever, or tried and tested. You know, like the players who's like, oh, like I got to win, so I'll just play you because I trust you, kind of thing, or whatever. I think he's done a lot of that this season. I think we've underestimated the fact that he must have felt that pressure, even though he hasn't looked like it from the outside. First time in England, biggest club he's ever been at, one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's a lot of pressure, right? From a Slot's point of view, taking over from Klopp, so many variables as to why this was such a big season for him. I think that's why he kind of felt, I can't give Elliott a chance, can't give Chiesa a chance, can't give Nunes a chance. I've got to win now. Who are the tried and tested? Who are the people who Klopp could rely on? I think he's done a lot of that as well. You see, Robbo plays all the time.
Yeah.
Jota plays all the time. I think he's doing a lot of who did Klopp rely on? I'll rely on that player
no, but
as well.
He's just doing favoritism, because I'll be so real. I'll say it frank. You know I'm a massive Gakpo supporter. Gakpo's been stinky since he's come back from that injury. Stinky. Gakpo hasn't played well at all. Why couldn't Chiesa have taken those minutes? Szoboszlai is
injured and started playing ahead of Chiesa.
Szoboszlai hasn't had a great end or last how many games. Why couldn't you have played Harvey Elliott? Jota has been stinky since he's kind of come back. Let's keep it about, you know, when Jota got that big injury, he's come back, he ain't the same. Why couldn't Nunes have got more minutes? Do you know what's so crazy? Imagine this. This is what I know. Slot is a madman, and he's as much as I rate Slot, he's got his ways. We were able to score a goal against PSG. The assist was by Darwin Nunes, and the goal scorer was Harvey Elliott. Have you seen them since?
No.
Darwin, we did. We saw him start the Southampton game, and then we saw him come off the bench against PSG.
And that's not enough, bro. That's
no. But
you're right. You're my question. You're right.
I can barely remember Elliot, the Fulham game he came on. But in terms of starts, yeah, as you said,
was the last time we saw Chiesa Newcastle? Am I going mad?
Yeah, I think it was the cup final. I think that was the last time we saw.
Am I going mad?
No. I think he got 5 minutes in the league the other day.
Did he?
Because I remember thinking 1 down, 1 more to go to get his medal.
Oh, was it
Fulham?
Yeah,
he came off the bench at like the 88th minute or something like that.
But since the since he's played against Fulham, that's it. That's Fulham.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Crazy. Let's help these super chats, boys. Mantis says Joey to score against Spurs and win the league. I don't even know if Joey's going to be back. Bless him, man.
Yeah,
hope he is. Hope we see Joey before the end of the season. Pete
too.
Says Robert might be the same as Hendo. No, not good for the dressing room when not playing. For backup, can Bichetic be inverted right back like Skelly? I still don't think Henderson would have been a detriment to the team personally if he'd stayed in the dressing room. I might be wrong. I don't think Robbo would be like that either. And no, I don't want to see Bichetic.
No, they don't strike me as detriment. Like for me, their personalities are not like I'm going to be a problem. I could be so wrong now, but I don't think Robbo will be a problem.
I would be shocked if I heard that. Dale says, reckon we know Trent decision by Sunday, lads, if we win. Surely he has to tell us what he's doing with nothing left to play for. Big week, man. I don't think we hear yes or no.
I don't think we hear nothing until after
Dale,
the parade.
I will give you an exclusive right here, right now, Dale. Right here, right now. And to everyone else, even to you guys, if nobody knows, I'm giving you the scoop right now. Trent will announce Real Madrid the day after the parade.
Yeah, I think that
could happen. That could definitely happen.
I actually said after
it is 100% happening, guys.
Yeah, I think.
Trust me.
He's gone. He's gone.
Trust me. That is when he's going to tell everyone. The day
I
after
agree.
the parade.
Or a couple of days after, but definitely, after.
No, the next day, bro, because he'll be off. The Club World Cup, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I will tell. Vitu, lads, the fact we're discussing whether we need a right back, does that mean you guys envision us selling Gomez and Kwanzaa? I'd rather hold off, trust Bradley and one of those two, focus on other areas. Vitu, bro, I'll be real. The thought of going into a season with Bradley and Kwanzaa or Bradley and Gomez being our right back options scares the crap out of me.
Bruv, Joe Gomez, I rate him highly, bro. He's a quality player, like when he's not injured. And like Joe Gomez is a blessed guy, bro. Me and Drift were able to meet.
I love Joe Gomez, but how
it's just the injury. So that question really should be Kwanzaa. because Joe Gomez, unfortunately, the injuries, bro.
The funny thing is about Joey, didn't he go all last season and right up until January
Yeah.
this year without
Yeah.
injury?
But I thought the injury.
He barely played this season before his injury, though, if we're going to be honest.
That might be why he got injured. Maybe he's one of them players that with rhythm, he's all right. And then if you bring him in and out the team, then that's when he gets
not, bro. We see he's been there since he was 18. We've seen it.
No, but I don't ever think he's really, apart from 18, 19, I don't think he's really had a first team start.
Because he's always been injured, bro. He's never been about his quality, bro. He's been injured.
Yeah. I mean, his fitness is a worry.
Bro,
it is a
there
worry.
was an argument to say Joe Gomez was the best left back that we had last year, not this year. Last year.
It was not even a question.
That's what I'm saying.
He was probably top 3 performers for Liverpool
But
last
bruv,
year.
you know, I'm saying that because I'm having to go someone in the chat because someone in the chat just said Gomez is average, and I'm like, Gomez ain't average, bro.
Not average. We know he's not
He's
average.
nowhere near average.
Gomez is good.
Here's the thing, though, guys. We're gonna now ask an injury-prone centre back to go and play right back.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's the crazy bit, though. That's
no. I actually think he's a very good fullback. It's just not a good idea because
we never said he's not good, bro. It's an injury-prone centre back to go and play in a more demanding position.
Well, bro, he played left back all season. That's what I'm saying. He didn't play
left back all season. He played a mixture of all 3 positions last season. Left back. He played a good amount.
Left back, right back, and 2 seat and played DM twice, innit?
Yeah, he played DM. Like, so he's played all over the pitch last year. But the point remains, if Bradley gets injured for like 6 weeks and we're relying on Gomez to play,
we're cooked.
7-8 games in a row. Like, do any of us think that's gonna happen?
No, I get it.
Get ready
for does that technically mean that we have to get rid of him then?
No, I'd keep him as a 4th choice centre back or 5th choice.
No, Gomez is 4th choice centre. The thing
he's worth his weight in gold to the squad in terms of his versatility, but the reason he's low down in the pecking order is because you can't rely on him with his injuries.
I hear that.
Nothing to do with his abilities. His abilities never been in question with me.
Trust me.
Promo. When last did Bradley play well away from Anfield? He hasn't really played that much this season, to be fair. So it's hard to say. I think am I right in saying, Drew, when we were doing a watch long, they said yesterday was like his 2nd or 3rd start in the league all season.
Yeah, something like that.
Damn.
So what is that the narrative promo that he's only good at Anfield? Is that what the narrative is going to be?
I can't say yes or no to that. I'd have to look deeper into it. So Farhan, if we get Frimpong, shift Salah to right back, but bigger facts, Salah will be doing more defending than he's seen in his life if we get Frimpong.
I've seen quite a few people in the chat saying this today. Let me ask you, look, because I don't know if you noticed it. Would you ever trust Szoboszlai as a right back?
No, we spoke about this. No,
we spoke about this.
Okay,
it would
I've seen quite a lot of people in the chat saying
it will be if there was an emergency. Like that, bro, there has to be an emergency for that even to happen. There has to be an emergency.
Like stranger things have happened. Do you remember when Valencia turned into a right back?
But Valencia was a right winger, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but he was a marauding right winger, bro. And then all of a sudden, he was a right back. That was a crazy transition.
You know what?
Ashley Young was a marauding winger. And then
Young is the crazy. No, because Young's the crazy. Because you see, Ashley Young, he even went left back as well, you know.
Yeah. So it ain't even the craziest thing in the world to think Szoboszlai could transform into a right back.
Mizan, sorry for butchering your name. If they fulfill their potential, imagine a future midfield of Wharton, Zaire Emery as 6s, Grav, Jones as 8s, Mac and Shirky as 10s, add Bichetti too. Be incredible. I don't see Zaire Emery leaving PSG.
No,
everyone knows my thoughts of Wharton. I think he'd be excellent, but I don't know if he's the player I'd go for at this stage right now. But if you don't get him now, then you'll never get him because
he needs a year to get over that injury as well.
He's been good this season, you know, since he's been back.
I know, but you know, like with a big injury like that, you want to see him do it again next year before you take.
I hear that, but then if he stays again another season,
it's going to be like 80 mil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Eagle versus Shark says Diaz and Gakpo 45 GA. What we doing? The 9 and 10 have been so bad at GA. Why are we crashing out on the left backs? The left wingers to pick up the slack. Wouldn't say crashing out.
I kind of agree with that, to be honest.
9 and 10 is more important than left wing. Pete Al says we should start playing how he wants for next season.
I think he needs the players though to do that though. That's the thing. I think Slot wants to tweak that system with a couple players introduced in there, maybe 2 or 3, maybe.
We could genuinely see a completely new Liverpool next season. Genuinely completely.
All depends on recruitment, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depends on recruitment.
Soren, big up Soren, says, big up gents. The more I see Bradley play, I think he will be creating chances going forward. Along with Kirkes, a new creative midfield and 2 new forwards with pace, I think we will be very good. We will cook, you never walk alone. I agree with
Soren, man.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we love and appreciate our whole community, but big up Soren. I'm not gonna lie, his contributions to the channel are big, regular. Incredible. Big up Soren, man.
Come on, big up Soren, man.
Fine says we need a defensive and attacking fullbacks. Agree with that as well. I think we need a variation of the two.
So what, we do the one's defensive on one side and one's attacking on the other side?
No, not even drift. I think we need one defensive right back, one defensive left back, and one attacking right back and one attacking left back. So you can vary, again, horses for courses. If you're playing against a team where, let's say we're up against PSG, I'm going Olaina and Hato at fullback, for example, because I see them as better defensively than, say, a Bradley and a Kirkes. But if you're going up against a Leicester, where we're going to have the lion's share of possession and we're going to be attacking a lot, then I'm going for Bradley and Kirkes, for example.
Yeah.
Jaquez, Miguel Gutierrez at left back, 30 mil. That would be who I'd want to get left back, but I think he goes Real Madrid. Mark Gay, centre back, 40 mil. Olaine at right back, 3. Shirky at 20 mil. Stiller at 50 mil. Jonathan David at strike for 3. Osherman for 60 mil. Your thoughts, guys? I'm hearing Osherman's going United along with Cunha, right?
You lost me at Jonathan David, bro.
Big up the keys.
Big up yourself.
I think there are some good players there. Like, say, for example, we did lose Joe Gomez. Mark Gay, we could do a lot worse than Mark Gay to replace.
But you can't bring in Mark Gay. Sorry,
to be third choice.
You can't. Yeah, no, you can, but I don't think it's good enough.
Well, I don't think he'll settle for that, given that it's going to be.
You want to buy Huijsen because Huijsen is challenging Kanate. This is Gay ain't for me not challenging Kanate unless Kanate gets injured. That's just my opinion.
I agree. Not just that.
There's a massive gap in quality.
I think it's hard to convince Gay to come to Liverpool and be third choice when he'll be playing to start for England in the World Cup.
Yeah, like for me, Huijsen's the profile, or not the profile, but Huijsen strikes me someone that's like, if I'm going Liverpool, bro, I'm fighting for that number 1 spot. You mad? I'm gonna ice Kanate out the way, bro. That's.
I'll be honest with you. If you're buying Huijsen, I think you're buying him more for potential. Future. Because I'll be honest with you, there's no one here can tell me that Huijsen is better than Gahey currently. I'm not having that. For future, 100%. There's all the he's got so much promise. Right now, that's disrespectful to Gahey. Right. Yeah, he is a better centre back right now than
I'm gonna be so real. You might not like what I'm gonna say. I feel like me personally, I feel like you're overrating Gahey. I think Gahey's good, by the way. Gahey's good.
I think you're downplaying Gahey.
No, but I think Huijsen is like near enough on that same level, and he's only 9.
He's not. He's nowhere close to Gahey right now, bro. He's not. Gahey's been performing at a very good level for about 2 or 3 years.
Let me ask you. But let me ask you.
Huijsen isn't on Gahey's level.
Let's say actually no, because I don't.
He's just got a higher ceiling.
Let's say there was some injury.
Let's discuss.
Yeah, leave it. All right, we're doing another
time. Vitu, Slot plays a 4-2-4. Don't think FSG will break the bank for more than one elite talent, Isak or Vert. So which of these pairs in attacking 4 would you take? Isak and Sobo or Verts and Osherman? I'm taking Isak and Sobo.
Isak? Yeah. Isak and Sobo?
Yeah, taking Isak and Sobo.
Oh, is this under the premise that Soboslai is still a Liverpool player, though?
No, if it's either Isak and Sobo or Verts and Osherman.
Oh, so it would mean we sold Soboslai.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll go Isak and Soboslai.
Yeah.
But if Soboslai was still in the squad, I'm going Verts and Osherman.
Big up to the one, the only Rack.
Brother Rack.
Big up Rack.
Hope you're well, bro. Hope the family's well.
Enough love, bro.
We'll never walk alone. 20 championships. It is 20.
Do you know what? That needs a celebration dance. Hold on. Big up, my brother.
100, man.
Hold on. Where is it?
Big up Rack as always.
Trust
Absolute legend. Eagle versus Sharks says only Diaz gets compared to Mane, not Gakpo. I've compared them to both to Mane.
But neither of them
are Mane.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Let me just ask you a little question. So I don't want to go on a tangent. I'm just very curious because someone just said something. Akize, big up Akize. He's right. Verts is generational. Who's better? Verts. I know they play different positions. Who's better, Verts or Isak?
All right, this is what I'm gonna say. We need a striker more than we need a 10.
Yeah.
It's that
no. Forget the narratives.
No,
who's
I'm
better?
saying it how it is.
That's not narrative.
Liverpool need a killer 9.
No, forget about Liverpool. Who's
I'm gonna rephrase it.
Verts
Right now,
or Isak?
right now, in my opinion, right now, just right this second, Isak. Isak is on like a from last year and this year. Right this second, but Verts
You really would put Isak above Verts?
Here I'm gonna say though.
Would you say Verts is generational, guys?
We've just won a league without a striker.
Yeah, kind of.
Guys, we've won a league without a striker and without a creative.
No, Matt, that's what I'm saying. Stop bringing it back to Liverpool.
No, but I'm bringing facts.
Better, Verts or Isak?
Right now, as a footballer, or just like who's
better in their role, in their position? Isak or Verts?
That's close, you know.
Who's better in their position?
Who's better in their position, Verts or Isak?
You probably say Isak is
Isak's the
arguably
second best striker in the world football at the moment.
Probably Isak right now, you know. Right now.
No chance. I know Isak's
right
a bad boy. He's not the second best striker in world football, Cal. He's
no,
not.
I said there's an argument to say he is. This season, there's an argument to say
I don't even think there's a nah.
Would you say? Do you think Haaland is? Let me change your question. Do you think Haaland's better than Isak?
As a striker, yeah.
Who would you rather have in your team?
Putting the ball in the back of net as a striker, yeah. Come on.
But we've
Kane
never
is better than him. Lewandowski's better than him. If we're just talking about actually just being a striker, putting the ball in the back of the net, yeah, he's not close to being top.
Now imagine Isak in a Man City team where they just the cutbacks are relentless.
Isak as a player is better than Haaland. Yeah, as a player, he's better than
all right.
Haaland.
So all right. But what I'm saying is, undoubtedly, I would say Isak is top 3 in Europe.
Nah, he's not. He's not better than Kane. He's not better than Lewandowski. He's not better than Haaland. So straight away, he's not top 3.
This season, he's better than Haaland.
No, this season, next, whatever it is, Isak is not better than Lewandowski, Kane, or Haaland. He's not.
I'm gonna be so real drift. This is not. You see, Lewandowski, he's been immense. I've done a lot of Barca games this year. You put Isak in that Barca team, Isak will get you more goals. I've seen Lewandowski.
I don't agree with that.
Brother, I've seen Lewandowski.
Let's agree to disagree.
Ain't Lewandowski top goal scorer in the Champions League?
It sounds crazy. You should see the amount of chances that he's missed this season, bro. It sounds mad what I'm saying.
Oh, go watch Newcastle. Isak misses bare chances as well, you know.
I'm telling you, Lewa is cold. Isak in that Barcelona team will get you more goals. That's just me, though.
Yeah, look, you know what? Even for real, there's even an argument that Martinez is better than Isak. For real.
Lautaro.
No, not Martinez. Alvarez. There's an argument Alvarez is better than Isak.
No, he's not.
Nah.
Based on what?
Nah.
Based on ability, based on what he's been doing this season, killing it for Atletico.
So what's Isak been doing?
No, I'm just saying there's an argument that he's better. So Isak ain't just top 2 done. Like there's an argument that these players are better than
this season. Unquestionably, Isak is top 3 in the world.
No, it's not unquestionably, man. Alvarez is performing very high this season. Lewandowski, Haaland.
I've watched Atletico this season. Alvarez has been good, but he ain't been on Isak level.
I think there's favoritism, but fair enough.
But he's not been on.
I think I know both of you love Isak. So I just think it's a bit of favoritism.
No,
that's
there
all.
isn't. No. Drift. If you was right, like if you said to me, I mean, say this then. If you said, no, like Mbappe or something, I'd be like, I still think Mbappe is better than Thingy, but he's having a worse season. That's me being real. That's me being honest. I'm being honest. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Alvarez.
Shane, according to some fans, we have walked the league and 8 of the starting team need to be sold. Slot might be the best ever. Time will tell. The answer says Simicast is now better than Robbo. It's clear. Robbo has cost us many goals directly. Simicast deserves his chance. Him and Kirkers can rotate. I wouldn't even be mad at it. Can't lie.
I wouldn't be mad either.
I don't see a world where Robbo leaves. Zone 14, no way I see FSG signing more than 3 or 4 players.
Me either, to be honest.
Yeah, same. Shane, if they were spinning Chiesa, surely they would play him up his profile. Don't know how signing him and never playing him would up his value.
Brad Smith, Bournemouth, 6 million, played about 5 games. We move.
If anyone's going to get money out of players,
No,
Brad
Shane's
Smith.
got a point. Shane
has got a point, but
I don't think he's valuable.
You don't know what Edwards and them man doing the transfer. It's like they strike fear, man. We saw Brad Smith for 6 mil for no reason.
If people really wanted Chiesa, they would have took him before we did, though.
No.
Apparently it was Slot that convinced him to come.
We've showed the world that Chiesa is well. We've got him over his fitness issues.
If Slot convinced him to come to Liverpool, then that means that he was on board with the signing. Then
it's even more exactly. It's even more.
Don't buy
that gives me even more hope that he'll be here next season.
Drift. We signed him for 12 mil. You reckon we can't get more than 20 mil for you? You reckon we can't get more than 12 mil for Chiesa if we sold him?
Maybe like 15, but I don't think it would be much more.
Profits. We get he'll go back to Italy for that. Then again, Italy aren't notorious for spending, but I reckon you get about 16, 17 with add-ons.
Look, if Slot convinced him to come, that gives me even more feeling that he'll be here next year. Then.
Andre says, chance Joey stays fit equals Cal doing shows for LFC. Yep. Yes, it's virtually impossible. Big up to Uncle Rod says you man's rate Varela from Porto. I think he's good.
I think he's good, to be fair, Varela, but I haven't watched him this season though. But I think Varela's a good player though.
Guys, support Uncle Rods as well. Guys, subscribe to his channel. Big up to our brother Gaz, Alaina, Housen, Kirkes, Edison, Sanchez, and David on the free and the lap, cooking like Gordon Ramsay. Love, lads. Huyson, better for what we need now.
I'm not gonna lie, Gaz. You know why? Do you know why I don't necessarily know if I'd agree with that? Because I would still be a little skeptical about Huyson playing in a higher line. I'll still be a little bit skeptical about
Drift.
That.
Do you know what? So was I until I saw the other day when he had to really like have a race. Do you know what he's like? It reminds me of like Matip a bit still.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got like Matip pace. Yeah. But Matip was very switched on and intelligent, so Huyson's got a little way to go before he can use his brain.
Huyson can read the game very, very well, though.
Pace. You get what I'm saying?
Right, we will see. We will see. But boys, have you got anything coming up on Big Up over the next couple of days?
Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for the big top 4 clash, Man City versus Aston Villa. I'm actually really excited and looking forward to that one.
That'll be a sick game because they both need top 5, innit?
Yo, if you see how close the battle is for top 5,
it's because Villa beat Newcastle, and not only that, I'll be there live Wednesday, Arsenal Palace. Remember, if Palace somehow beat Arsenal, we win the league on that day.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Matt. You see that game right there, yeah? It's either gonna be the worst game we've ever watched or a spectacle to behold.
Oh, 100%, and I'll be there.
Both teams are gonna be putting out all their reserves. Palace have got the FA Cup game at the weekend. That's their whole season.
But this is why Palace have a chance.
The Champions League game. So, like,
Palace
you get what I'm saying? Both teams. It's either going to be a spectacle to behold, or it's going to be dross because they both.
I think Palace have something for Arsenal. Call me crazy. I don't know.
No, but Matt, we don't even want them to win because we want to win it ourselves, right? We don't want another time where we've won it without playing. Do you know?
I want Arsenal.
No, of course, but I'm there to see Arsenal lose, though.
No, I hear
No,
that.
that
I
is
hear
the
that,
story.
but
We want the story to be we win it, obviously. But I want to see Arsenal lose. I'm here for it.
can I
Chat,
also
be
ask
there,
you
man.
a quick question? Why is Aina not been playing?
Injured.
Is it a bad injury or is it just a
I
minor?
don't think it's hamstring. I don't think it's anything crazy.
Oh, okay.
Andre says, read my super chat wrong, so not Sobo brothers anymore. Bruv, you disowned me as a Sobo brother ages ago, bro. Like,
Andre, you need to chill, fam. He's not being sold, you know, Andre. He's not being sold.
nah, we're not selling Sobo.
We're not selling him. I don't want him to be sold either.
We're not. People, if you haven't already, do smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, me and Matt will be live on Don Hassam's channel with Tom Little tomorrow as well. So make sure you check that out. And switch on the notification bell, guys. So when we do go live, you know that we are going live as well. Boys, it's another Monday night live show. Anything you want to say to the people before we say goodbye?
Big up to the chat each and every time. Nothing but love, respect, and yeah, man, another great show, man.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. Like the controversy, like the conversation. It's fun. 6 players. Wow, though. What we move.
We will see. People, till we see you again. Stay safe, stay blessed. We're Team Kopish out, people. Take care.
Love, peeps.
Peace.
Pat.